Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Lifting Disclosure in the Media, the Legend of Zelda's game series. Well, I know we're all over the place with this series. We're going with Majora's Mask this time. Richie is going to talk about the lore around Majora's Mask. I know Ocarina of Time was first, but this seems to be more of a fascinating topic with Majora's Mask. It seems to be more all-inclusive. And we've already mentioned a little bit about Ocarina of Time in the previous game sets. So we can just go straight into Majora's Mask and talk about some of the different concepts there and some of the storylines there and disclosure there. So, Richie, go right ahead.
Well, Majora's Mask was in production. I think it was going to be an extended part of Ocarina of Time. It was going to be called a Zelda, and it was going to be on another system called the Atari Jaguar. And it was just going to be an extension pack of Ocarina of Time, whatever. But that failed, and they turned it into its own game. And so Link's return back to his original time, like the child timeline sort of thing. But he's warned Zelda about Ganon, what he's going to do, what his plans are. His plans to take up Hyrule, and he's arrested. He didn't get he didn't get the Triforce, whatever. And Link goes searching for his fairy, Navi, his guide in the previous game, who for some reason just left him. Just left, and he's searching for in the Lost Woods. And as we know, Harley ends up entering into the Lost Woods, become the Stalfos. So as he's traveling, as he's like pacing through the woods, he comes across two fairies stole his horse, and then you see the Majora's Mask worn by the Skull Kid. Now the Skull Kid's a character in the previous game, but he's a very subsequent character. Like you give him a mask, he'll give you a heart piece sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, what the Skull Kid is, he's like a manifestation of children that have wandered into the forest and become lost. And hang on, if I get the screen, can I get the screen share?
Yeah.
How'd you do it? It's just go screen share.
Oh, yeah, screen share. Yep, the screen share is on, yes.
Right, screen share.
Yeah, and Skull Kid, he's like a manifestation of, like you said, with all the other kids that were lost. That's like a poltergeist conglomeration of energies.
I need images. Right. Skull Kid, here he is. Yeah. This is what his original form looks like. Sorry, people.
Okay, yeah, this is interesting. I've heard reports of like flute playing like demonic entities before as well. Ones that were like an instrument playing entities as well, where they'll send out weird like tones and weird energetic pulses and everything like that too. They're a conglomeration of poltergeist energy, and that's an interesting.
Yeah. This is good. Skull Kid here wearing the Majora's Mask. It's the Majora's Mask. It's like your main item you get in the game, and it's shaped. It's in a heart, but it's like a corrupt heart sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's usually what it is. It's it's like basically a corruption of the heart or lack of soul is what it is essentially.
Yeah, so it's got quite a disturbing aura to it.
Mm-hmm.
Sense, yeah. And after Link is startled, the Skull Kid appears, and these two fairies that are working. Apparently, he's been causing trouble to Skull Kid for a while around there. With the power of the mask, he's been able to cause a lot of trouble. And as he approaches an unconscious Link, he takes Link's ocarina. Link wakes up, tries to catch him, and in pursue. Skull Kid runs off with his horse, and then Link pursues him down to this tunnel. And this tunnel, like Link falls down like this sort of. This is where people said it was like the parallel world of Termina, or the parallel dimension of Termina. Link like falls down this rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Link's falling down this hole, you see all of these faces, like the masks. You come into the sea.
Mm-hmm.
During the game, and as Link descends down, he falls into this. It looks like he falls like down to like some. It looks like it's a Triforce, but it's all inverted.
Mm-hmm.
These triangles, but they're all up. They're inverted. They're upwards. On
Okay.
the when he falls down the floor, you see like this symbol, but the Triforce, but it's all inverted up. The triangles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. This with the triangles inverted like that. That's basically that's like what I've said in previous games. You know, with the Cabal likes to use the triangles. The Orions love to use the
Yeah,
triangles. A lot of Orion references in these games, and him going into like a parallel pocket of some sort, meeting these beings that I know throughout that game show him like each time he reverses something in time later on in the game. We'll get more into that in a bit, but there's these beings that come to him that are outside of time or outside of
yeah,
they're in like a parallel pocket. And also, before we move on, also the concept of the ocarina that is in it, where it's these musical notes that allow Link to travel in time. In Majora's Mask, it's 3 days back each time. It's the number three that is used constantly. I believe it's three. It's 3 days back. That goes back to the triangle. It goes into the power of three again,
oh yeah, oh.
and it also the ocarina in the first game in Ocarina of Time allows him to go seven. I believe 7 years. So that's another power number. It's seven. So basically that's declared like almost like a number of God in religious and numerological circles. But and then you go now to they refined it down to three in Majora's Mask, and the concepts of the masks. I find this fascinating. We'll kick this off as kind of a foundation where the concept of the mask is a consciousness can be put into a mask, or a conceptual consciousness can be put into
Yeah,
a mask to transform a person into that
we,
conception. They're called Shalico masks, and
yeah,
up to very recently, I had one sitting back there that a being named Sorak was in, and that was a Balinese Shalico mask, to where that particular person that wore it would become that particular being for that particular amount of time that they wore the mask. It's a form of channeling, but it's more of a transmutated, configurative
yeah.
type of channel.
Similar to what the Vikings did with the wolf pelts as well, or the animal pelts. They inherit the ability of the body of the animal.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know, it's like a transmutative sort of thing, and other things like werewolves and stuff have that on more of a on a genetic level, on also a viral level, where they can transform other people into that same template. This is something kind of similar to that, where the wearer of the mask can then take on that essence. And then there was that old movie, The Mask, where you see him put on the mask and he becomes like Loki, pretty much. So it's like that. It's the same. It's the same concept. And I have a couple masks sitting outside that are more like not doorways, but more like protective pieces that also form along with the house a triangle. I'm using that same concept with a couple of masks outside. One of the masks almost looks like the Skull Kids, and the other one looks more like a mask that Link uses later as well in the game. It's one of the round face type ones, and it's like he uses one that's very similar to that I have outside right now. And the mask concept is very, very fascinating, but also can be very, very dangerous as well, because if you get a consciousness or like an archetype that is in that mask that is not for the highest good or the highest vibrations, and you put that on or you use it in some way, it becomes a conduit, a permanent conduit. Either you have to destroy it or you have to contain it somehow. Just like with Sorak's mask, I had to basically I sent him to the haunted museum in Stratford, Connecticut. It's a place that haunted objects are kept in a vault and in a museum vault. And I had to send that there because it became impossible for me to continuously contain it. I had to constantly maintain it, and that was exerting too much energy. And there was another mask I had that I had to destroy. So I've had to do both concepts, where one of them became the embodiment of like a dark conduit or doorway that was permanent and it had to be destroyed. Another one became no, it was kind of like the same thing, but it became the opposite of a protection piece. It became more like a vacuum. and I had to send it to a place that had to be contained in salt. So this is actually very interesting. Now, this concept with the Skull Kid, where he's like the embodiment of all the lost children, this mask is almost kind of like that. Becomes that embodiment. It brought that Skull Kid pretty much to life, and that embodiment to life like a poltergeist. So that I would say, if that was a real situation, that would probably be a mask I'd either destroy or had to contain at
Yeah.
that stage.
Well, spoilers. In the ending, Link does sort of transmute the mask
Mhm.
in the end,
Yeah,
sort of
so
in a way.
muted. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we're getting back to Link's journey. When he falls down the hole, he sees Skull Kid there, and Skull Kid turns him into a Deku Scrub. He uses some sort of like hypnotic trance on him, turns him into this little Deku little. Hang on, Deku.
The Deku. Yeah, that's a Deku. I have a
Yeah,
mask.
turns him into this sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Deku. That I have a mask that's very, very similar to a Deku sitting outside. That is a kind of a protective piece that's sitting in one of the corners of the yard. I'm going to add crystals and such to it too. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And later, Link's stuck in this little form, and he can't use he can't use his sword and shield. He can't jump up ledges. He's very, his abilities are pretty much been muted, and he can't. People in this town, and before he enters the town, is because he can use these like flowers, these like little flower pods. He can jump. He can go inside them, and he can jump out of them.
Mm-hmm.
But he can also he can glide for a little bit on these little propeller flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And whilst he can use like he can use what are they called? Deku seeds, are they called?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, where he's
yeah.
Yeah.
No, he can't spit. He doesn't spit them out. He can drop them. He drops them like a bomb.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But later on, as you're going through this part towards Termina, you come across like this dead tree stump, and it looks like him. It's even like the guy Tail who got lost and she's stuck with Link throughout the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
She's just trying to reunite with her brother and Skull Kid again. Tail and Tail, you got Tail and Tail. Sorry, that's their names. Tail's the one that follows Link throughout the game, but she even comments and says how this tree looks eerily similar to you. It's strange, and we later find out that tree is like the deceased son of the is the deceased son of the Deku Butler.
Okay.
But yeah, as he's entering into Termina, it sort of goes into this sort of, again, the whole world sort of turns upside down, this whole spiral room sort of thing. And you enter into this sort of, you're at the bottom of this clock tower. And you come across, and then when you go up the stairs, you come across the Happy Mask salesman. He said you met with a terrible fate, blah, blah, blah. And he says, I'm leaving here in 3 days, you need to get a mask back, and so on and so on. As you go outside, you don't really know why he says you got so and so many hours to leave, and then you go outside and you see that the moon's literally just this huge massive moon is going to crash onto the town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so Link has to regain his Ocarina of Time, but in order to do that, he has to obtain certain items, certain power-ups, because there's a certain plant, what they call it, is it just called a Deku flower? This flower here.
Yeah.
That Link can go into. There's a Deku flower there that allows you to go on the top to get to the clock tower. Because on the third day, the clock tower will open up. It will try. You can go on the top, and that's where you'll meet Skull Kid. But you need to get this flower, go into this flower. But this flower is owned by a merchant. By another Deku Scrub merchant. Sorry, by a Deku Scrub merchant. But he wants in exchange a moon. He wants to exchange a moon tier. Hang on. Yeah, he wants a moon tier.
Yeah, and he wants the mask itself. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, he doesn't want the mask. He's not after the mask. He just wants a moon tier.
Oh, okay.
He wants a moon tier, but in order to do that, you have to go to the observatory. But you need to you need to find these 3 kids to get into their little club. There's a secret entrance to the observatory.
Okay.
And you have to play hide and seek with them. Catch them, but they won't allow Dekus into the. Yeah, everyone's very quite prejudiced towards Dekus. You can't go outside. No, they won't let you go out. The guards will not let you go outside if you're a Deku Scrub form. people won't really talk to you or trade with you. The dog seems to have a very angry prejudice towards him. There's like a little dog in the town, random dog in the town square that seems to attack
Yeah,
you
they don't
most of the
play him
time.
when he's in the Deku form. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so they'll when you foul them, they'll teach you the code, but they won't let you into the club. They say no Deku's in the club, so you go to the guy in the observatory, the old man. Blah blah blah. He talks about how Skull Kid was causing trouble. Then you look at them. What you do is you get the telescope and you aim at the clock tower because the observatory is outside the terminal, but you can still see, so you can see the town. But you aim at the top clock tower. You see Skull Kid, and he looks up at the moon. The moon drops a moon tear.
Mm-hmm.
You collect that, so on, so on. You give it to the merchant. He literally used the flower, or whatever, but you still need the power of spit. So because you can't, because it's in order to retain your ocarina, you have to shoot something. You have to like knock it out of his hand, knock the ocarina out of his hand. So you need to go to the Great Fairy, which you'll find one fairy in these, because the fairies in this one they've been scattered about. The main fairies in each area you go to. In this one, you only have to find one fairy, and you have to return this fairy back, and it restores the fairy in her full form again. She's been shattered all over the place, and she gives like Deku Link the ability. She gives like the magic powers, and the magic bar goes up, and you can spit bubbles out, sort of thing, and that's what you use to get the Ocarina of Time back. And then when you do confront Skull Kid, so on and so on, you find out he's just literally Skull Kid has become so diabolical and corrupt. Tail's brother, he even forms a link to call the giants, bring them here. The four giants are the beings you were talking about that can transcend from time.
Mm-hmm.
He says to go to the mountain, the forest, the oceans, and I think he's land of the dead, sort of. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, I feel those beings were like elementals, essentially.
Yeah.
Being in between. Yeah.
And as he says that, Skull Kid gets very aggressive towards him, hits him, and then he threatens to bring the moon down quick. And he starts bringing the moon down much quicker. He's going to destroy the entire town. Sort of.
Yeah, so therefore you have to keep going back in time 3 days with the Ocarina of Time. The tones, also, I find this very interesting with the tones of the Ocarina and different combinations of tones.
Mm-hmm.
There are portals and time portals. Like there is one in Peru, with the Amaru people called the Gate of Amaru Muru, and it is a Lemurian portal that activates on different tones and different whistle-like tones or flute-like tones. And that's how some of the priests were able to do it, or guttural tones in a certain combination. And that was for travel, but that's also for time travel as well. And the fact that you had to play a certain song to go back 3 days each time in order to go and defeat these different bosses. I find it interesting, once you eliminate a boss, they're gone from the entire loop. They're gone from the entire loop. So obviously they're sitting outside. They're in the time loop, but then when you defeat them, you've removed them from the game board. And this is an important concept because of the fact I've noticed certain ghosts and certain beings that are interlocked into like a cabal agenda, or in like a in the fake reincarnation cycle, and that the Orions kept reincarnating over and over again through time. If you eliminate them by sending them into true spirit, so they can go back to their original expression wherever they need to go, you're eliminating them from the game board. So even if there is another loop, those beings are not there. So therefore, this is a true concept. Like we've had to loop like in this timeline multiple times, or this concept multiple times. And we're getting further. We've gotten further along than we ever have. We've done a few reboots and redos in the previous versions. Some of these beings and some of these characters, let's just say, were not eliminated completely from the big game board. And some of these ghosts that are being recycled, either sacrificial or matriarchal or patriarchal, if you eliminate them from that whole rule book, you've completely changed the dynamic of the timelines, and you've completely changed something in the future somewhere, and something that they can't recover from because they don't have the piece to work with anymore. And this is a very similar, this is the same thing you see in that where Skull Kid had enlisted all these other pieces, and you go back 3 days and eliminate all of them, and they're not available to him anymore at that point.
Yeah. because he's when you've finished when you've got the Ocarina of Time back, Link gets a slight flashback to Zelda playing the Ocarina of Time, so on and so on. And in this game, when you play the Song of Time, you travel back in time 3 days. Yeah, like you said, the Ocarina in this one is much more essential to the gameplay. It's more like your lifesaver. This one.
Yeah, in the
Whereas
previous one, it wasn't as essential. It only was used in one part of the game, but this one's
yeah, but it was only used for like puzzle solving and stuff like that. This one, no, it plays a massive role. And when you get it back, Link in in the Deku form, Link doesn't have the ocarina. His ocarina turns into like, these trumpets, and when he's in different forms, he has like different instruments act as the ocarina. I don't know. That's something to do with the persona, whatever persona he takes in. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's very, very interesting. Yeah, you can use that to activate different masks and stuff as well. And I find that very interesting as well. Where all well, you put on the different mask and you can use the different tones from the different cultures and everything in it too, where they're associated with different cultures, different powers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Deku one has the trumpets. The Goron has the drum. The Zora has like a fish guitar, or bone fish guitar sort of thing. And there is another mask called the Fierce Deezy mask, but it's you don't get that until like you collect all the masks. It's pretty much just like the model is pretty much an adult version of Link, but you can shoot projectiles with his sword. And it's pretty much a game breaker, but you don't get that until like way towards the end of the game. But we'll get to that soon. Anyway, getting back to like when Link does retrieve that when he reverses time, he goes back to the Happy Mask salesman. He teaches you the song of healing, which allows the spell Link to turn it into a mask, transmute it into a mask, the spell on him, and he can reuse it again and again.
Yeah, and that's interesting that it takes the manifestation of a mask, that particular curse, then embodies as a mask. I find that very fascinating. This is why you have to be very careful what masks you pick up and which ones you gather in real life too, because even tourist pieces can imbue a certain essence into them as well. The fact that he was able to get the curse be put into a mask and then be able to reverse it and use it. Things like that can be used for good if they have the right intention is put into them, just like with any spell or incantation. But yeah, that type of transmuting can go on. Also, the reverse can be done where a mask can then also be turned into a full embodied being as well, where literally you could have that consciousness or that concept pour back out and form a whole being as well.
That's what happens at the end when you fight Majora. He turns into the mask turns into a actual being.
Yeah. That's essentially you can literally reverse it back and then create a whole being from it as well. That's why some of these concepts they can be very powerful. They can be very powerful protection tools, but they can also be very dangerous curses as well.
Yeah, definitely. And so as you enter out, you can go out of Clock Town now because you're in human form. Then the next bit of the plot. Well, the main plot anyway, main story, the next bit of overarching plot is just, and this is the last bit until then you collected all the masks and freed all the giants. But this is the last bit of story. You get to see Tail looking at one of Skull Kid's doodles on the tree sort of thing. You find out that he is like a sympathetic person. He wasn't always bad. He just had a troubled past. Like his friends, it's implied that his friends were the giants. I'm not sure if they're talking about. I always thought because he said it because at the end they say he talks about how he mistreated them and everything like that. He talks to them like they're close friends to him. So I don't know if it's the friends are his giants and so on, but he's had a fallout with his friends and he was all alone and the fairies comforted him, but then he came across in possession of the mask that corrupted him and made him do horrible things.
Yeah. He came across an object that was already corrupted and already linked to something dark, and had that template uploaded to it already. If you want to think of it in those terms,
Yeah.
he uses it, and then he becomes the embodiment of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you enter, the first area you go to is a swamp area, Oh, I should mention as well when you're playing the game. This is what a lot of people hate about the game because of its 3-day time structure. You're limited to you got a time limit and you're under a lot of pressure. People hated this, and this is what the game didn't do so well because people absolutely hate the 3-day time cycle and the fact you're stuck in the Deku Scrub form and you didn't know what to do. This game doesn't really exactly hold your hand. Like it's not as straightforward as Ocarina of Time, but once you know what you're doing, it gets a lot of fun. The song that you can use to slow down time is the reverse song of time. the Song of Time, but you just play it backwards. And it slows down time significantly. It takes a lot of stress off you. It makes the game a lot more fun. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, it stretches it out a little bit further where you can like ease up. Yeah, that the time constraint, it was irritating to me too, where you had to kind of rush through it. That's the only drawback about that game I hated, where you had to just kind of you had to focus on what exactly you were doing, and it caused a little more stress until you could slow time down a little bit.
Yeah, lot of multitasking in that game.
No.
And there's also the time of where you can. There's also a song where you can skip days.
Mhm.
It's called. I can't remember the name of it, but you can skip certain days, certain times, and so on and so on. So it just makes it less tedious to wait around, sort of thing. Or you can find scarecrows, and then you can put song of passing or something like that. It's essentially like the song of the sun song, the song of passing, whatever. And but you can choose what time and part, the time you want. So on and so on. But anyway, getting back to the swamp area, the swamp has been like heavily. It's heavily corrupted. It's got like all this purple substance, poisonous purple substance coming from the volcano. It's like a sort of hot. This giant that like swamp is next to a giant it's like a giant spring volcano, like a
Mhm.
giant geyser.
Yeah.
But the entire water, the entire spring has been literally. All right, the entire spring has been like poisoned and corrupted.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, and it said it's linked towards this temple, which the Skull Kids had an influence on that.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you have to say the Deku Princess. Well, sorry. Also, sorry, let me rephrase that. The Deku Princess has been kidnapped. She's been taken to the temple, but the king, the Deku King, if you came to counter with there, he thinks the monkeys. He thinks one of the monkeys are responsible for it, and he tries killing him. You tell the monkey when you go and meet the monkey, he'll teach you the Song of Awakening, which allows you to awaken the temple, but only the Deku's trumpets can summon the temple. Once you summon the temple, it comes out. Because you go into the volcano, but it's all what this tainted water. It's purple. It's poisoned. You can't touch it. It'll kill you. It'll hurt you. It'll kill you. And as you go to this certain part of the one of the platforms, you can play the Song of Awakening, but you have to be the Deku Scrub form because that particular instrument can only resurrect the temple. And once you play it, the temple resurrects, so on and so on. You end up, but the temples in this, and then this temple was very interesting. It has more like a Mayan Aztec feel to it.
Hmm.
This one has like a very, and that's what the entire like even like the Deku Palace, it has like a sort of Aztec feel to it, a very tribal feel to it, sort of thing. Because which is interesting. Because I don't think you don't think there's really been like a sort of that sort of aesthetic or setting in a Zelda game, bro. And then so yeah, pretty much. And then the fairies in this one. And you have to when you restore the Great Fairy again in the Clock Town, she gives you a mask,
Hmm.
and the other masks do play a big part in this. Like this mask she gives you allows you to track fairies; they won't run away from you. It saves you going after collecting them or something like that. And these fairies, there's like 15. I think there's 15 or 14 fairies in each. I think there's 14 fairies in each temple.
Hmm.
And when you've done the temple, you have to go. You go to the Great Fairy Fountain. You restore her body. She gives you another power up again. The power ups are pretty much the power ups. In this one, the forest one, she extends your magic bar. The second one, you don't necessarily really need it. It's just that spin attack. It just amplifies that sort of thing. But the third one, you get the your heart capacity. You get the what would you call them? Where your heart, you take less damage. Basically, she increases your strength, sort of thing. Amplifies that. And then the fourth one, you get the Great Fairy Sword. It's not an actual sword. It's like an item you get.
Hmm.
So you
Do
can
you
clock
have
tower.
do you have images of these you can show?
Yeah, it's the sword you get.
Okay. All right. That's very, very interesting. I have seen fairies, larger fairies carrying luminescent like crystals and such like this, like spear tip ones that look kind of like this before. And
Yeah.
some Syrian fairies have like these like crystal fluid like spear tips and stuff like that as well. So it's very similar to what some fairy warriors and such carry around. I've seen things like that. It's not quite that large and elaborate. Some of them have been shorter than that or narrower, but they have like a luminescent quality to that. Yeah.
It's not your default sword. It's like it's used as an item.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because your default sword, you just got the Kokiri. I'll get into the sword and shield in that actually in a minute. But yeah, once you get back to the temple, once you it's just basically how most temples go. Sort of thing. It's if you play the Legend of Zelda game, it's pretty much like any other temple. But in this one, there's a certain mechanism inside the temple that does something to the water. It sort of filters it.
Mm-hmm.
Once you activate it, the water starts filtering, and then it says toxic, and the plants there, unless something was possessing them, and it was turning them into like these things that could kill you,
Mm-hmm.
and it was transmuting the plants there, whatever was when it filtered out the water. Then you fight when you go to the boss. Oh, by the way, you fight like these other like reptoid beings in there. Like, they're similar to like the lizard. Hold on,
Mm-hmm.
they're called Lizardfus.
Yeah, and I've seen bits of corrupted land before where different elementals have been corrupted just exactly like that. Like you said, they were corrupted to be able to kill you. I've seen gnomes get transformed because of nuclear energy. I've seen corrupted bits of land, that need to be audited and healed, where there are different beings that have either conglomerated as energy to where they are the embodiment of that corruption, or it goes back to like Skull Kid again, or the land itself is corrupted, and these other beings that inhabit it get the corruption added to them. Yeah.
Yeah, these are one of the main mini bosses you come across. These Lizardfus. It's not the actual one, but this is one from Ocarina of Time, but it's the same sort of species of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's like a form of reptile or a Draco, whatever.
Yeah, this looks like this one looks more like, I know this looks like a Draco, but at the same time there are also other raptor-like races like this. It shows this other image that's down here with him in the lava down there with the Lysalphos right there. Yeah, that one there. I've seen images of these beings through lava tubes. There's Draco that travel through lava tubes like this, and this is also there are also other reptilian species down there aside from Draco that look kind of like raptors as well. And if you start going through some of the tubes, they would end up grabbing you and eating you, the lava tubes, if you went through there. But they're very telepathic. And some of them, if you try to call them Draco, they don't like being called that because they might be related to them, but they're not them. Then you have the Draco that look like raptors and alligators and crocodiles, and some are the flat face like humans, or the hybrid ones are. But I've run even into gecko-looking ones and chameleon-looking ones as well that are kind ones. There's reptoid type species. There's a reptoid familiar type that looks like a chameleon with the eyes that move all over the place. That one is that one's a kind one, but that one that you were showing though, that one is more akin to Draco or some of the underground native Agarthan reptilians.
You also come across one of my mini boss. There's two distinct types of mini boss you come across before you end, because you need to get a boss key for each temple, and this boss key is guarded by a particular enemy.
Mm-hmm.
This enemy, what's it called? What's it called? Sorry, people, I forgot the name. Then this is the creature here.
Okay.
This is one of the creatures, and he's essentially like an elemental frog that got corrupted.
Yeah.
And the Guru, you need a mask called the Guru's mask to talk to these frogs, and you get a heart piece. Here it is, yeah. One of the frogs. You need right.
Yeah, that particular type of one, I've seen corrupted elementals that look like frogs. There's two types that are like that. Of course, there's two galactic types, which are the Ligurian and the Trogdor. But this particular one, there is a corrupted frog-looking entity like that they like to sit in trees and like cackle at people. I've seen this particular type before, where they usually hover around corrupted pieces of land. And they'll make these cackling noises at people, like hey, 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 like that.
That's what this one makes.
Yeah,
makes it very.
Yeah, they sound like that. Yeah. They sound like that. So somebody knew what they were doing with this particular species. because these guys like to hover around corrupted land. You never see them in any other case other than if a land is heavily corrupted through battle, war, blood, anything like that. They're usually around for when like the Orions are harvesting an area,
Yeah.
or if it's just corrupted in nature, or you'll see these beings are hanging out in trees or hanging around in waterways. But there is another frog species, another type that is there's three actually. There's one that is kind of like a triangular head that they look almost like a Christmas tree shape, that are stubby and they walk around. And there's a third type that exist underground that are corrupted. They're part lizard, part frog, part fish. And these type of frogs were in the ancient past, and they basically would cull different societies. Like some societies that would disappear were basically eaten by these creatures, and they hang out underground. They hang out in waterways, and there is a mythical creature in Japan that would lure people into waterways that was like a lizard frog. And it was like this. It would basically try to get them to get into the water. Once you're in the water, these species have power in the actual world. And I had a past life where I was killed by one of these, and I've come across ghosts that have been killed by these beings. And they usually assist like the Orions in culling an area. But the one that cackles is a smaller one that sits in a tree. But the bigger, taller ones that are part lizard, fish, frog are ones that actually will kill people. They'll grab them. They look like rocks. If you went up to them, they would look like a rock disguised, and they would pop out at you like a big monster.
Yeah.
But these little ones, one you were showing, is the little cackling one in the tree.
This is another mini boss you fight. They call them the whiz ropes.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them can project fire, and one of them projects fire, one of them projects ice at you. I think there's three you fight, and they can project fire and ice at you, and they teleport. They can teleport his body for these little pedestals here.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, when you he multiplies into creates more replicas of himself, but then you have to try to shoot the solid one, which you'll know, because a lot of them are just the solid one's just staying static, and he's spinning his staff around at you, trying to casting a spell.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's one of the mini bosses. I don't know what he reminds you of. He looks like an Orion, or I think a Draco, or reptilian probably. I think.
Yeah, like a Draco and a Draco, Orion, and a Syrian kind of put together. It looks like, but I have seen ones with larger chins as well that have kind of a pig appearance too. But
this one's a pig appearance. Hold on, let me get a better image. There.
There we go. Yeah, this one has a pig appearance. I've run across pig type of beings before that are both archivists and are also embodiments of different energies in the universe. They come across like say if you have a certain set of physics where a being exists and they enter our set of physics, they take a weird looking form here because we have a different set of physics here.
Yeah.
Some beings have come into our form looking kind of like creepified, like this. But this is also, there are also some creatures that exist in forests that are called, they're kind of like forest witches that kind of also have this appearance, not with a big protruding jaw like this, where they walk around and they use different magics in the different wooded areas as well. But this seems to be an embodiment of a lot of these different concepts, like they combine a bunch of them together.
Speaking of witches, those two witches from Ocarina of Time, what's her name? Yama and something. Oh, they returned in this game, but they're completely different. They're completely different characters.
Hmm.
They're not like the subordinate mother of Ganondorf for this one. They're like these just shop owners,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to rescue one of the sisters from who got attacked by Skull Kid sort of thing. You have to do a special potion. Now this is where it comes to my Link being dead theory later, but I'll get back to that again.
Okay.
So yeah, getting back to those frogs. The frogs, when you defeat the frogs in those temples, they transmute into a normal frog. But if you have the Gogoro mask, you can talk to them or appear back on the lily pad near the mountains, and they'll give you a heartbeat, so on and so on. These particular masks called the very Gogoro mask. Gogoro mask. It's like a frog mask, where you get in the Snowhead Mountains.
Okay.
But yeah, getting back to the temple. The temple, when you get to the boss is called Adawa. Yeah, this is the first boss you fight. Adal, I think his name's called Adala.
Mm-hmm.
Adala. Yeah, and he's like this sort of demonic looking Aztec warrior.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I've
each one,
seen elements of
and
that.
each, and all these bosses, when you defeat them, they turn into masks. They transmute into masks. Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen embodiments of it before, like I said, where masks can create different physical embodiments. I've seen this in Africa as well, where I've seen some of the Orions conjure, like they use some of the consciousnesses of fallen warriors and fallen remains, and they'll embody them into like a almost like a mask-like form to try to use them as like servants and such. I've seen this. I've seen this concept before in that as well. So this makes sense. Even this is more of an Aztec look. I've seen African depictions that way too.
yeah, and these are some of the other bosses you fight as well. This is the boss called they call it Goat, which is like a giant mechanoid robot. This mechanoid goat thing is web. I don't know if a skull could manifest it. I don't know. It's again, Majora's Mask has a lot of mystery. It's very weird. There's a lot of mystery to it. What these what they're actually symbolizing. But yeah, what basically you need the Goron to ram into the goat. You're chasing it around. It's like a circle room sort of thing. You're chasing it around, like a
Mhm.
sort of railway sort of thing. Because when you get the Goron Mars, you can morph into a ball and you can spin around at large speed. You can travel at large speed sort of thing. You can at one point if you for a long if you can do it for long periods of time, you turn to like, you morph into like these this sort of like spike ball sort of thing. But it
Mhm.
does drain your magic bar, so you got to keep looking for your magic jars and the magic potions sort of thing. You can in the boss room in the go room, you can hit like these jars that give you large portions of magic. You're fine on that end as long as you don't bugger up. But yeah, you got to keep ramming it in there. But in the 3DS remake, the bosses when you hit them long enough, they like materialize an eye. Hold on, an eye pops out of them. It's like, and you have to hit the eye.
Okay.
Yeah, this happens like when you hit them long enough, an eye will pop out and you have to shoot the eye.
Okay.
In the original one, you just you hit them like you would a regular boss. I suppose they don't to give them more a boss is more of a unique feel instead of just cheesing it all the time. Because in the original one, Adar was pretty much was just a lot more beefed up enemy in some aspects.
But when they updated it, they had the eye.
Yeah, yeah. So he's not as simple as just shooting arrows at him or constantly slashing him with a sword. But this the yes. So that was interesting. The third boss you fight is called I think he's called George. George Fish or Goyorge. Here it is. Goyorge. Goyorge. George.
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Goyorge.
Yeah.
This giant fish being
Yeah.
that's corrupting the oceans in the third world in the third world. And yeah, it's that was the fourth one. It's called Twin. What's it called? Twin Mold.
Okay.
These two snake beings, and it's in like this sort of weird desert setting where you are. It's like when you're in the Stone Tower Temple, you go into this room, and you fall out into this like weird desert setting. Hold on. Up. Right, Twin Mold. The first one, Twin Mold, in the Freelander, in the original one, you get the Giant's Mask that allow you to go, that allow Link to transform really huge, and you could just take the snakes on just as you would a regular enemy. But in the remake, it's a completely new structure and setup. You shoot the first one, you shoot use like the light arrows. Did we mention the light arrows in the first
No, I don't
one?
believe you did. I don't believe you
Oh, well, you get well in this game in the main temple items you get in this game. You get a bow and arrow, and you get the different elemental arrows.
did.
You get the fire and the ice arrow and the light arrow. The fire arrow you get in the snowhead temple. Or the ice arrow you get in the water temple, and you get the light arrow. Where do you get the light arrow from? Is it from? You get it from Is it in Stone Tower Temple, or do you get it from the palace? I think you get it from. I'm trying to think. You get it from. I think you get it from the palace. You get it from the Stone Tower Temple. And what they'll do is they'll act as like puzzle solving, so on and so on, and you'll need these to traverse through the temples. Whereas in the first game, whereas the first temple in the wood, it's called Woodfall Temple. You get the bow and arrow, and you just use it to get solve puzzles and so on and so on. The fire arrow will allow you to melt ice, which stops links in his path, sort of thing. And I think you can access. You can get an item that allows you to. Well, you need to do it to get an item in order to get into the boat. It's called the sea. The land of the sea is called the Great Bay.
Hmm.
You need a specific power keg to get there to break the sort of boulder to get the horse. But in order to do that, you need to be in the Goron form, and you need a certain license to do this. You need to unblock this sort of boulder that's blocking the race. Sort of thing. Yeah, there's a lot of like padding in this game, sort of. So, and it's not,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's not like a linear structure of padding. It's all over the place. It depends on how you perceive the game and how you do it on the player's
Oh
perspective.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
sorry if I'm rambling on people, but that's just it's a very hard game to sort of explain in like a linear
It's not
structure sort of
linear at
thing.
all. It bounces all over the place. So this is why we're
Yeah,
going all over the place with it because it's not really a linear. It's more like a conceptual type thing. You can choose where you want to go with it.
yeah,
Like with like that eyeball concept, I find that interesting. They switched to that because there are these like probes that fly around that do look like eyeballs, and then if you hit them, you basically crippled whoever's looking at you, either remote viewing you or whoever's using that piece of technology that looks like an eyeball, usually Orion, but it's or they send them out as spies, like drones. And if you hit those, you've hurt them, or if you mirror that back to them, you've
yeah.
hurt them. And with
And the eye and the eyeball looks like Majora's eye.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's basically like a spy for him, so it's representing him looking in on that all the time. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's this. Yeah, it's like, oh my god. Yeah,
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 it represents him looking, like say so. But also with the thing with the arrows, I find that interesting because yeah, you can not only technologically bend light and fire and all that to an individual like stream or like a sword, like kind of like the lightsaber, where it's like the energy. You can create technologically and magically like different arrows and different tools such as that and different elements. You can do this with like water or ice. Of course, you can create all sorts of things with the different elements. You can even take elements of air and do that with it as well. Yeah, there are so many magical techniques that can be used that way. Just like on Orion's, I use fire and ice. I always visualize fire like and ice together come from my hands and just kind of do this flame throwing technique on it, like they do in Elder Scrolls, where you just go, and do that. Well, I do that with that. You can imbue objects with those different elements and surround them, like with a sword or with a shield or something like that. You can imbue different objects exactly like you see in these games. But the arrow thing I find interesting because yeah, I do that kind of thing when I'm getting hitting an Orion or hitting a demon or something like that. I'll visualize like a bolt or something hitting,
yeah.
and it does work.
And it's interesting. Later on, when you get the light arrows, if you shoot an enemy, it will transmute the enemy into a large rupee, a 50 percent rupee.
Yeah, rupee, or that's basically for people who don't know what that is. That's the form of currency that's
Yeah, it's currency in the game. Yeah,
yeah. It transforms them into like a crystal, and that's also interesting. You can do that with an actual being like that. You can transform beings into stones and crystals, very much like Medusa looking at people and turning them to stone. It's a similar concept where like if you use like a form of light to transmute them, sometimes that will form a solid object like that. So that's not common. I have not seen it happen completely. I've also seen people that have entered their what's known as crystalline DNA from carbon-based DNA, where they compress the carbon within them so much that because they're evolving, and then when they die, their corpses turn to crystals. I've seen that before too, where they've inserted enough light into their cells where they've grown into this crystal form. I've seen that happen too. It's extremely rare, but it does happen.
yeah. So again, when you finish the first temple, the water returns back to normal, and you can, you see that you find the princess, so on and so on. You have to, you can't carry it back. So the way to transport it back is for a bottle.
As well.
You put the Deku princess in a bottle. You have to put it in a bowl. You can't carry it back. Yeah. So when you go back, blah blah, the monkey's freed, innocent, and there is another quest. They do. You have another side quest to do to get another mask. The mask was sent. You have to race their butler, And when you go for like this sort of, it's similar, something similar in Ocarina of Time, but this one, but it's well basically the same thing as some of the same quests in Ocarina of Time, challenges or whatever. You just follow this particular individual. He's floating around. He's floating around an umbrella. You have to keep up with him. If you lose him, you have to start again. If you get trapped, you go down the wrong corridor. So on. And but yeah, when you get to the end, the butler in comments says. He says you remind when you're in the DQ form. I think he says you remind me a lot of my son who I lost.
Hmm.
And it's implied. I think Nintendo implied it. I don't know if they confirmed it or not, or they implied it. It was the DQ form is like the son of the butlers.
The son of whom?
The son of the butlers you race.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
There we
And
go.
here's the guy. Here's the one you race. When you get
Okay.
towards, and this is the stump I was talking about earlier when you later in the game.
Okay.
Earlier in the game also. And then the title commented and said how much Link looks like this stump, and here it is. Mourning over his son's deceased son.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, there are elemental types and some fey types that do look like that. They look like trees, and some even have the round mouths like that of the Deku, where they some of them are stuck in the ground. Like I said in the previous game, where it was the tree that couldn't. There was a tree that couldn't move in one of the games that I talked about, where he became stuck. This was in a different game, mind you, but it was. Where sometimes eventually they become the embodiments of different concepts like that. And this is also how a dryad is. If it's a living dryad, this is they can talk to you like this. They can present a face through a tree like this, and they can. Where am I going with this? Okay, where they don't exactly walk or talk or do anything. They'll transmit energetically or telepathically to you, like as a mass energy. But this is also sometimes what a mother or father dryad looks like as well. And also, there are elemental beings that do walk around like that. That look like giants, but trees, kind of like Treebeard. But this particular form, though, there have been good versions of this, and there have been bad versions of this where they've been corrupted. I've seen both, that fall under this category. I even
Yeah,
saw a tree that looked like that with the round mouth and everything.
yeah. There is ones called the angry Dekus that you find, more the feral Dekus, or are they called angry? I think they're called angry scrubs.
Okay.
Where are they? 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 Here they are. This is what they look like. More like
Okay.
yeah, corrupt angry scrub. Here they are. Better one of them. Called
Okay.
angry scrubs.
All right. Yeah. 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 I've seen that kind of thing before, where they poke the head up to the ground and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I've seen that kind of thing before. Yeah.
And they spit at you. They spit DQ nuts at you.
Yeah, yeah, but I've also seen where some of the things that come up with the ground, they will spit things at you like that. So I've seen things exactly like that, where they'll stick their head up out of the ground and spit, just like in the game. It's and if it hits your energy, it could corrupt it, weight it down. I call that concept being mudded, where something is thrown into your energy field or into your auric field. But if they spit
Yeah.
enough things in there, they can weigh you down a little bit, and you have to cleanse yourself. But I've seen this before. They can even grow things inside of your energy to try to corrupt your energy and stuff like that. I've seen this before. It's a type of corrupted elemental that becomes like one with a corrupted bit of land, and they're quite dangerous. Actually, I've run across that. I classify them in the demon category. There's also the Venus flytrap type of elemental demons that are corrupted. Things that the Orions created a long time ago, where there are these Venus flytrap things that can live under a house. They can pop out of a seed pod under a house, and they can engulf a house in negative energy with all these
Yeah.
vines and spores. And they have little like creepy handlers that look kind of like these. I call them the evil Oompa Loompas, but they look kind of like these Deku with a smaller round mouth, and
Yeah.
they have like this weird like green comb over instead.
Oh, this one here.
Humors for those, yeah. They
Oh,
look
this
like
one here.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's where I think that's where you tell. That's once where you told me where Mario got the influence from the piranha plants. Those Orion's plants.
yeah, yeah. The Orion plants, yeah, and they have those little handlers that look like that. Every now and again, the plant will kill one of the handlers or several of the handlers. There's usually 3 or 4 of them, and and the plants grow really, really big, and it takes a bunch of galactics to contain it. But these plants are considered to be like a demon type. Both the handler type and the corrupted Deku, feral Deku types. I might as well we might as well just call them feral Deku at this point because that's what they look like. But they are basically under the demon classification,
Mm.
or like under the demon heading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So after you've done the first stage, first part of the world terminal, you can, like I said before, there's no linear structure to it, but you don't have to like go directly to the snowhead to get to the temple. You could just do more padding if you want to collect more heart pieces, and or find more masks in the town. Uh, the masks, for the most part, aren't always essential. Some of them are just, but they're just used to get. They're used to like collect to get the last mod fierce deity mask.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get into that, but some of the masks aren't always essential, but some of them are. Some of them aren't. But the next stage you go to is the snowhead in the mountains, and that's where the Gorons, home of the termless Gorons. And for those who don't know, the Gorons are the rock people. We mentioned them, I think, before, didn't we?
Yeah, I mentioned them before. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to bring up an image of the Gorons, you can do that. These are interesting looking people too.
Yeah, they are the rock
There we
people.
are. Yeah.
These are the rock people you encounter in the mountains in Snowhead. But the mountain has gone into like this giant freeze. It's like there's this ongoing winter, and it's slowly killing the Gorons because they're not used to this cold. Because they're very fire resistant.
Mm-hmm.
They like hot springs, and there's a lot of hot springs in the game as well in the mountains. But because of the cold weather, they can't get to them. And you will have to use one of the hot springs to melt some of the ice in the game. But it's only for a limited amount of time though when you collect it. And then the Goro mask you get there is he's called the what's his name? He's not Damani. What's his name? What's his name? The Goron hero who you inhabit his persona.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And then they think you're him when you're wearing.
yeah. What's his name? Here he is. Well, it wasn't actually. That's the form Link takes. What's his name? What's his name? Okay. Let's see what his name is. I'll see if his name will come up. Doria. There he is. No, that's Mockery. Is it Doria? No, that's not Time. What's his name? Bloody Damani. That's his name.
Okay.
Damani.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've played this one, so some of the names. Yeah, I find the Goron look fascinating because there are 3 different beings I've encountered that have this look. There's a race from the Boots constellation called the Fjorgi. Look like a white version of one of them, like white or grayish color. And then you have another one from the Boots that is like a rock type of person that looks more like the Thing from Fantastic Four. Then you have one on Earth that looks exactly like this that can roll up into a ball like
yeah.
them.
This is one of the really cool things with the Goron form. But before you see the ghost of Damani, you have to find the lens of truth, and you will encounter the owl, Deborah, which is in the Ocarina of Time. But he'll guide you. You did meet him in the swamp as well. He taught you this. Oh yeah, he teach you. The owl's back in this, Deborah. He teaches you the song of what's it called? It's a song that allows you to transport to different areas. Once you activate these owl statues.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a minute. Oh, sorry guys, I'm all over the place.
That's okay. That gray-colored Goron looks like a Fjorgi.
That's his ghost form.
Yeah.
The money's owl statues. Owl statues. Majora's Mask. Yeah, once you activate these, you can save your progress, but you can also teleport to where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And once you learn the song, you can transport to where they are, say as you're traversing across Termina.
Okay.
There's two in each area. So
I've heard. Yeah, that's very interesting. They're using the face of the owl as the means to transport. It's a owl is a symbol of wisdom, but it also can be a symbol of death as well. And there's two species associated
Yeah,
with it as well: owl witch and another dimensional owl species in a dimension called the Passage, and they
yeah.
present knowledge and wisdom to people. So that's where they
And
get.
this is why I'm going to go back into my Link being dead theory again.
Yeah.
And yeah, getting back to the Gorons. Once when you get the Mask of Truth, because the owl lay feathers down on these invisible platforms,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll go into like these little random islands out floating and floating. And inside your kind of the lens of truth, you'll be able to see. And again, the lens of truth, you'll be able to see like etherical things that have been hidden from the naked physical eye, and you'll see like the spirit of Demoni there. And he'll be like he's shocked to see that someone could see. He's surprised someone could see him, but then he'll take you back to his grave.
Mm-hmm.
When you follow him there, he tells you about how he was once the great Goron hero, and now he can't rest, so on and so on. He asks if there's any way you can help me. Can you use magic to heal me up? And you play the song of healing. His he passes on, but he leaves his persona of you turns into a mask.
Mm-hmm.
He's manifested his undialing motives and feelings into a mask. And
Okay, yeah, and
yeah,
then he creates and manifests that mask, and then
yeah,
like I said, any Goron you're around, and you're wearing that, they think you're him.
yeah. It's a bit disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
Your deceased Demoni, but yeah, because he said he was going to snow. He was going to go up to Snowhead to check out what was going on, but a huge wind took him, and knocked him off the edge, and bit of a gruesome fate. And it's a bit gruesome. You see like this giant scar across his belly. It could just be a giant battle scar, but it could also be the scar what impaled him.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the icebergs that blew him off is a bit unsettling. But yeah, but when you're in the Goron form, you can like curl up into a ball sort of thing, and you can like sort of spin dash around the world. It's actually really cool.
Oh yeah, right, you and
Yeah, but,
there is a type of species like that live underground that can literally roll around as rocks like that. So yeah, that
and if you get enough speed, you can like manifest spikes on you like this ball form. But
mhm,
that takes your magic mirror away. You're pretty much when you're in the ball form, you're pretty much indestructible.
mhm.
But if you're a Deku or a Goron, you can't swim. In
Oh,
this form, you drown immediately. The Deku you can skim on water. Deku Scrub because he's so light, you can like sort of skip on water.
mhm.
Yeah, do 5 times and he drowns after that.
Oh yeah,
But
you go. Yeah,
yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
find it funny when you brought these pictures up with just the Goron heads. I heard Isaac say calling them the creepy turd emoji. So I heard him say they're the creepy turd emoji.
But it's interesting, and they always take and the forms Link takes are like a mixed persona between him and the his persona and the spirit's persona of the mask.
Hmm.
Because he still has like his green hat. It's sort of like a again, it sort of like turns him into a Goron persona
Hmm.
of this, or that, or the being. Like I said, the being he inhabits, he turns him into that sort of persona. I don't know, it's like it transmutes, it turns his persona into that persona, that being sort of thing. If I'm making sense out of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. That yeah, it's you're only taking on some of his traits. Yeah, and I've heard of that too. Like what I say, if you were to put on a mask, you would take on some of those traits and fuse with that particular set of traits for that time. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So when you get the Goron mask, you're able to you have to go to the Goron because you can manually you said you can open up one of the Goron doors. You can just ground slam it, and you will see one of the youngsters. I think he's the son of the Goron Elder. This
Hmm.
this guy. Oh wait, I can't remember his name. He's just called the Goron Elder. But his son, because because after Damoni failed and then it came back to Snowhead, he felt he could take on. He went to go up to Snowhead to see what was going on, take on, but he got froze and didn't return. And his son has been crying up a storm. He can't. No one can't settle rest him, but only his eldest grand is only his father. The elder knows how to put him to sleep. And then once you unfreeze him, he teaches you half of the song of the Goron lullaby. But the rest of it, but then you play it to his son. He teaches you the rest of the song, and then it puts the Goron to sleep. this song, the Goron's Lullaby. And
Oh,
you'll need
stuff.
and you'll need this song later on because when you head towards the temple, there's like this huge giant Goron that's blowing this blow um keeps blowing you away, and that's probably what killed Demoni.
Mhm.
This huge Goron that's at the entrance, but you can only see him through like the if you had the lens of truth. This Goron,
Mhm.
you see him like blowing. You see him blowing.
Yeah, I remember he blew like wind down from the mountains.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you play the Goron lullaby, and he falls asleep. He falls off the edge. He is fine though. He doesn't die. Yeah, you see him when you go back to the temple later when when it's all melted. When it's all melted away. You see him sitting on the platform. He doesn't know what he was doing. It's like he was under some sort of spell. Like this Goron himself was under some sort of spell. He didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, and then when you play that song for him, it kicks him out of it. Just like certain tones will kick, and certain tone, sound, and light patterns will kick people out of different spells and programming. So that's accurate.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's the story of the that's the story of that temple. And then after that, you when you finish there, you can also upgrade your sword as well in the snow in the mountains. But you can only it's called the Razor Sword. It's not really important though to anything. But this sword's like a single edged sword. Razor. I can't see if that's no. Oh, oh, what's going on? No, don't. Oh, sorry guys. Someone's not wanting me to see this.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone didn't want me to do that. I can't get rid of. I'm trying to get rid of this. Pull this down. There we go. Oh, there we go. Right. Razor. Razor sword. Yeah, this is one of the swords you get in the game. Well, you can. It's like you can't take it back in time either. So you're gonna use it 100 times. You can only slash it 100 times.
Hmm.
It's a single. It's like sort of a bit of bit of a mix between a scimitar and a katana.
Hmm.
Yeah, actually, I do prefer the look at this sword more than the other one because when you get the gold dust after you unblock the road from the race, and that's kind of what the boss. That's what the boss room looks like. The boss room when you're fighting Goat looks like a giant racing circuit sort of thing. You have to keep hitting him and so on and so on. But anyway, um, when you've unblocked the road to race, you can get purchase the giant powder kegs. So you don't have to keep going to this big gore all the time. You've got a license for them, so on and so on, and then you can unblock the road to get in your horse. But anyway, get back to the when you unblock the road to the Gorham race,
Hmm.
if you win the race, you get something called gold dust, and the gold dust allows you to get the gilded sword. Here it is, the gilded sword. It's like a golden color sword,
Hmm.
much longer sword. Yeah,
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you get something called the gilded sword, which I'm not a big fan of this sword. I actually didn't like. I felt like the color palette. It's like a sort of yellow, gold, and brown sort of color palette. I just thought that wasn't as interesting as the previous one.
Yeah, it seems to be almost like a Harlequin pattern with that, but yeah, yeah, I remember that. It's been a while since I've played that game. The fact they also have gold imbued in it to make it stronger, that's actually true. Like with orgone pieces, magical techniques, anything scientific, you add gold to it, it makes it stronger. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like the color palette. I think it's kind of bland, the sort of brown and gold look. But yeah, I don't know. It's for me though. But yeah, you can do that. That sword's completely optional. You don't have to do it. You know, it's entirely completely optional.
Hmm.
But the but yeah, after when you've done that, you then head over to the Moroni Ranch. I think it's called that. The ranch where you find a Epona. This is where things get a lot interesting.
Hmm.
Moroni Ranch is when you go, you can if you didn't have the powder keg to blow the crater up, you can only go on the third day. But when you go there, the barn doors, the barn's been completely destroyed, like scavenged. The barn doors been removed,
Hmm.
and you see with the girl, she's like this rendition of what's her name in the previous. Oh, what's her name? I can't remember the girl's name, but you see like the younger girl sitting there on like the crate, and she looks all disorientated and lobotomized. She looks all weird, like like she's like her brain's been zapped or something like that, and her elder sister's concerned with what's going on. She doesn't know what's happened, and then she said the cows are gone, right? Well, later when you go there and when you break the when you're at the border on the first day, you later find out that this farm has been harassed by aliens. Hang
Hmm.
on, let me get them up. They're like these little Grim Reaper type things you fight, and they've been like taking the cows and everything. Hang on, what did she call them? Right. Let me put Majora's Mask in them. Right, here they are. That's what they look like.
Okay.
And what you do is this: how you don't you can get your horse. You don't. I mean, again, it's optional. This is just to get a mask. And again, this gets you another mask as well. This gets you the it gets you a mask that allows you to access a certain bar, and this mask will get you the circus leader's mask. Blah blah blah. You know, it's padding for masks sort of thing. They're completely optional. You'd have to get them, but if you want the fierce deity mask, yeah, you have to get all masks.
Okay.
It's not part of essential of the story, but yeah, eventually on the first day, she tells you about these beings that come down. They take the cattle, sort of thing. They come down like these balls of light, and they'll start manifesting around the farm. And you'll have to travel around. You have to try and defend them from getting too close to the barn.
Mhm.
You have to keep shooting them with arrows. They slowly cut, and depending on if you've got like the time, or if you slow them the time, if the time's on its in the reverse time, and the time's slowed down, they come slower. But if you got it at a normal time, they'll come at normal speed. But you can't let these guys get too close to the barn, or else they'll abduct the cows and everything. Yeah, this is not the light that summons them.
Yeah, what's interesting about these guys, you say they manifest from balls of light. That's like how you know, some grays have come out of different spheres of light coming in. These have like a gray slash Egyptian look to it with that fan around the top of their head. They have like they had Orion Egyptian kind of look, and also the fact that you have to defend the barn and the cows and everything from them. Somebody was putting a reference to the grays in there and cattle mutilations and defending the cows and everything in that scene. I find that interesting where they come down from balls of light. Also, they can be controlled with time. This is also very interesting. This may be a subtle clue, but still a clue where they're still trapped within their own creation. They're still trapped within like the Orions are still trapped within their own creation of time here with us, even though they oppress us. And also other beings, different beings were trapped within their own illusionary creation. So even that little tiny reference where you can slow them down, that speaks volumes. That it might be a little mundane detail, but it's like that basically tells part of the story. That fact that's an option that slows them down is the fact that they're trapped along with other people, and they have to either die or evolve out of it as well. So that's actually quite interesting that they added them into that.
Yeah, so when you you got to defeat them till morning. You got to defeat them till the morning, then they just all dissipate. That's it.
And they all disappear. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they'll just dissipate. They just combust. And after that, you can do another optional side quest. You can do you can escort the older sister. What you do is she's trying to go to town to deliver some milk, and this is where you get this other mask that allows you to go into a club. And there's actually a lot of RPG elements in this Zelda game, but this mask allows you to go into this club, and this gets you another mask with the Circus Leader's mask. I'll get into that in a minute. What you do is you have to defend her milk stock from these like rogues, thugs on this land because they blocked off the main road that leads you into town, so she has to take the long route, and then the thugs. These thugs are called they're called the Scarab Brothers, and they give you a mask later on as well, but they don't they're sort of like at rivals with this Ramadi Ranch sort of thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
These brothers, and you have to keep shooting arrows at them to hold them back until you can get back on the main road again.
Okay.
And then when you do, she'll give you the mask, she'll thank you, and then when you get the mask, when you got this, what's it called? It's called the oh I can't remember the name of the mask. It's like a cow's hood. and you get this, and you use this mask to play like to get into the club, and when you got all the different transformation masks, the guy composing will ask you to play a specific tune in each form.
Mm-hmm.
And this other guy play, and it's actually a reference. This song you play is actually a reference to the Ballad of the Windfish, another Zelda game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this other guy, this circus, this guy called I can't remember his name. He was like another composer for the Zora band. I'll get to them in a minute.
Okay.
And he gives you like and he gives you the circus leader's mask. And this will give you and this will let you contain an item later on in the game. Again, it's not like there's a linear structure to this, people. So sorry if I'm rambling on.
Well, no. This
It's
game, it goes everywhere. It's all over
yeah,
the place. So it's like,
it's just so hard to put this in a narrative. It really is.
yeah, it is
Uh,
really difficult with some games to put them into a narrative because there's so many different variations of it. And,
yeah, this is a video game, and it's one of the more unique video games because it feels like it's a video game made for a video game sort of thing. The story of game made for a video game sort of thing. So there's no way you can really put this all put in a specific format sort of way. But what was it? Yeah, after that, well, when you done those side quests, they're only optional. But when you got access when you got an opponent, you can then access the Great Bay. You can jump over the fence or whatever. And when you go into the Great Bay, the music's very unsettling. And again, when these corrupt places, they're very they've got these very sort of very unsettling music to them, very creepy, and they seem to sort of have some sort of they seem to be these creepy music represents the area and the theme it's in.
mm-hmm.
So in like the swamp, you got like it sounds like a bit like a banjo sort of type.
Oh, what was it? What were they?
The swamp's got like a haunted banjo sort of type music to it with these corrupted areas.
Okay. Oh, yeah. The music will.
Yeah, the music would get really creepy, and yeah. Then if you off the coast, when you go to the first area, you'll see a bunch of seagulls flying around this hovering around. It's one of the Zora band players called Macau. Hold on.
Yeah. Bring that.
Zora. Yeah, Macau. He's one of the band players.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Where you get to take on his form, from the mask
Yeah.
and the bone guitar and everything.
And what the Zora can do, obviously they can swim quite gracefully in the water, and they can also create this electrical field around them. And in the 3DS version, you have to use the electric field, which takes down your magic bar in order to go fast. In the original one, you could just do that anyway. It's like you could just swim, and it made it really fun to swim. I don't know why they done that. It was one of the biggest bonehead things they did in the 3DS one because it made swimming so graceful.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to drain your magic while swimming fast. In the new one, you had to. In the new one, you had to.
Yeah,
You have to use the magic.
they were actually quite efficient swimmers. This looks like a mer type that I've run into too that live on the Pacific coast of the U.S.
It's the band. They call it the Indigo Band. And his girlfriend Lulu, her eggs were kidnapped, and Macau went out to look for them. But he was killed by I don't know what. I think it was the pirates killed him.
Mm-hmm.
In this game. The pirates are pretty much a rendition of the Garudus in Ocarina of Time. They're all female. And yeah, so this is the Indigo Band. And you will need to you have to locate these eggs because these eggs when they hatch, I think there's 7 of these eggs you have to collect. But when these eggs hatch, they'll teach you the song. They'll teach you this particular when they're all together. The eggs will hatch when they're all together, and they'll teach you these songs. They like morph into like these sort of notes, sort of thing. But when you what was it? Yeah, I think the pirates killed Macau because he went out looking for the eggs. They kidnapped some of the eggs. I don't know why they want the eggs for some reason, but yeah, when you get his form, he tells you to collect the eggs, so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And go to the pirate because the pirate's stronghold is that there's a secret entrance you have to break down, a secret wall when you swim underwater. There's but you can't be seen by. Again, it's pretty much the same structure of how Ocarina of Time's Gerudos were, and they're pretty much the same as like the Gerudos in Ocarina of Time. Hold on. So it's pretty much like they're pretty much the same as the Gerudos in
In
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time, yeah,
Yeah,
they're all
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That sort of Arabic look to them as well, but they've got a Middle Eastern look to them.
Yeah.
Middle Eastern aesthetic to them. You said there was. What's that symbol I saw? It's like two swords, it's like two scimitars going up to crossing each other.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
reminds me of another particular race that isn't particularly good.
Yeah, there is a Cassiopean group that is more of an Arabic Persian like Circassian type of race that they associated with the Nazis. That's where the word Aryan came from. Originally was like Persia in the Middle East. Is where the word Aryan came from. That's where the swastika came from as well. And also there is a Cassiopean group that has the W and has the sword going through it, or the two swords going through it, kind of like a pirate, and that would be the negative group. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I can't seem to find the signal, but there's the town. Let me see if I can get the No, I can't seem to find it. Yeah, but it is like two scimitars crossed to each other like that. Yeah, I can't seem to find it here. But yeah, but once also I should mention when you're in the swamp, you get like a camera.
Mm-hmm.
You can take pictures of things. You want to take a picture of one of the pirates. This guy here actually is one of the characters that requests you take because he's got one of these seahorses inside of his containers. He's going to take to a fair, and it's one. But this seahorse wishes to reunite with its family. It's talking to Link, and he says, and he said he'll trade it with him if he has a picture of a female pirate.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, he wants a wanking picture, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And if you give him a picture of a pirate, and then he will he'll give you the seahorse and the bottle, and you. But before that, when you're in the pirate's fortress, you'll come across a guard. If you use a lens of truth, you'll come across this guard that's invisible.
Mm-hmm.
You give him some red potion. He'll to heal him up, and then he'll give you the stone mask, which they can't see.
Mm-hmm.
Stone mask. Yeah, this mask they can't see.
Okay.
Yeah, and you try it really help. It sort of in a way you could argue breaks the sort of section, but it makes things a lot easier. But when you're in the fortress, you can also get the item, the hookshot in this. And again, it has a more of a gold like tone to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the hook shot. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange looking one in this game, but
Yeah, one of
yeah,
the stranger weapons where you can send a hook out to grab items.
yeah, the physics of this bloody thing makes like literally no sense, but well, it's fantasy.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I believe there are galactic like pirates that use stuff like that too. So like there are derivatives of the Galactic Federation that are negative. Well, there's derivatives inside the Galactic Federation that are negative, but there are pirates, actual space pirates that use things like this too. Believe it or not, nets
Yeah,
and those things. Yeah.
yeah. So that's one of the items you get, and you use these to get into the containers, which have the eggs in them. There's only 4 eggs in the fortress you get, but for each before you go into each room that has an egg, you always fight one of the pirate women
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing, and it's just the same procedure you Ocarina of Time when you fight one of the Gerudo thieves. Just essentially like a mini boss sort of thing. So essentially, you could argue this does function as a temple. These
Mm-hmm.
fortresses, and then after that, when you got the eggs from the fortress, you go back to the scientist he's got his own research facility near the coast. It's got like a giant hook. It's got like a giant hook on it,
Mm-hmm.
like a little outpost, and you can put the eggs in this giant container. And then he'll talk about where the rest of the eggs are. The rest of the eggs are where these sea snakes are. Hold on. You have to go to, and the pirates will talk about these giant sea snakes that have the rest of the eggs. I believe Skull Kid might have put them there. I'm not sure. And you have to wait for them to. If anyway, you remember Unagi from Super Mario, that's kind of what this is.
Okay.
64, that creepy fucking eel. thing that
Oh
comes out.
yeah. This particular quest, I hated this one because of that creature that was under the water. I hated this thing because uh, yeah, it was this one was a fairly difficult one actually.
You have
Uh,
to wait for their heads to emerge, and you got electric shoot the rest of their body.
yeah.
Then you have to close. But when you do that, the other seahorse will, because the seahorse that you've saved from the guy, you release it into this something called this cape something, and then it will lead you through this it'll guide you through this desert. Without the guide, you can't find your way there. You'll get lost, and it'll take you to this giant hole. And in this hole, it's like riddled with all these giant snakes, and you have to wait. What you have to do is wait for them to emerge out and attack their behind,
Mm-hmm.
attack their well, because their head's impervious to attack. So you have to use
Got to
Zoro.
get him from behind. Yeah.
Yeah, shock. You have to shock them, sort of thing. It's a bit tedious, but once you get then after that, once you get all the eggs, you go back to the scientists. You put them in the container, and they morph the eggs start turning into like these start hatching. But the eggs look like little notes,
Mm-hmm.
like little fish notes, and they turn into like a tune. And they form like a tune you play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's called the song. What's it called? The song of. Oh, I can't remember the song of something. You need it to awaken this giant turtle near the Cape Sora. Hang on, the turtle.
Yeah, and also there's other creatures like that exist under the water. There's one in Alaska, for instance, that people call the Ili, and it's in Lake Iliandra, I believe you pronounce it as. And there's one that looks very much like that has teeth. That is a creature that's under the lake there, very large one. And there's several of them planet wide.
This is him. This is him. I forgot his name.
And that's the turtle. Yeah.
Yeah, once you play the song, I think there's only when the Zoro that you said the certain frequency of the Zoro, it can waken the turtle. Yeah,
Okay.
and you have to use the hook shot. Because you only use the hook shot in human form. Well, when you're in Link's normal form,
Mm-hmm.
you have to hook onto those trees there. There's like a little island on him.
Okay. Yeah.
And he'll take you to the water temple. And I hated this fucking temple with passion. It's the most.
Oh, so did I hated that quest. I was glad when it was over because I hated that one.
That was the only temple that I hated. I probably would say this is even worse than the War Temple and Ocarina of Time because it's just horrible. It's tedious. It's annoying. It's not really fun. The music gets to me after a while. It's just not fun. Really isn't. And again, it's just a sort of same procedure. You get a main item, and the item in this one's called the ice arrow, which allows you to shoot. And again, you can only shoot certain parts of the wall that allow a platform to manifest, an ice platform to manifest.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the original one, the original N64 one, you can shoot any ice, any water, and ice. It's not a big deal, but any like ice particle you shoot, any bit of water you shoot, it would turn to an ice particle, and you can use it as a platform at anything at all. But in the new one, the 3DS, it's only certain parts, only certain areas that you can shoot, and it will turn to ice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big deal, it's just
It's like
whatever.
Yeah.
But the frog boss in this one. Actually, no. There's another. No, sorry, that's wrong. There is another subsequent boss in this game. It's like this giant frog eye. This is one of the bosses you do come across and fight.
Okay.
Called Wart. Basically, it's like this giant lizard eye or frog eye, and it has all this spawn around it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep shooting the spawn to hit the eye. And once the spawns are destroyed, this thing will start going absolutely bananas, and it'll start charging after you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, and it's always levitating. It's really creepy wherever it is. It's freaky as hell.
Oh yeah. There are, like I said, there are different Orion probes, both organic and technological, that look like floating eyes around. They're AI based. Also, can also be an embodiment of somebody gazing, like I was saying before. I've seen these also in Elder Scrolls. They popped up as Hermaeus Mora in the Elder Scrolls series, but in this, it seems like it looks like almost like also a genetic mutation or like a genetic concoction that the Orions created. Like any of the other creatures you've displayed in this game look like different genetic concoctions that you see in mythology and everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is one of them. This has popped up in mythology too, a form like this. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for the War Temple. Like I said, when you fight George, it's they've sort of padded the boss out a little bit with George, whatever you want to call him.
Goyard, yeah,
George, or whatever.
yeah, he
um,
was a pain in the ass. Yeah.
but in this one, they've padded him out a little bit more, and he's more of a pain in the ass. Because if people didn't like him in the original, you're not really going to like him in this one. He's because there's two sections to this boss fight. Because it's now when the platform then starts descending, so you have to use a Sora form.
hmm
Start swimming, you have to, and then you have to hit these when he's like trying to suck you in, you have to like hit these mines that go in that he'll inadvertently suck in
hmm
if you're close enough to him. It's just it's annoying. I didn't really like it. Some of the changes I thought were a bit silly and bonehead, but whatever. Then when you finished him, the ocean returns back to normal. Then you can head up, and then after that point, you can either just head straight to the Stone Tower Temple, or you can do more padding throughout the game. I usually just increase my heart capacity. I usually increase my heart, get more hearts and get more masks wherever you can.
Exactly.
Or you could just go straight to Stone Tower Temple. But to get Stone Tower Temple, you will need to get something called what's it called? The Guru mask. It's like these ancient ninjas of Stone Tower Temple. The Guru. Now in the Guru mask, this is the mask you get in the original mask was just like a hood of this.
hmm
But in the 3DS one, you get like one of their leaders, which
Okay.
I prefer the original, like the more solid stuff. But these masks, when you wear these, and when you're in Icana Valley, that's what it's called. That's the area where Stone Tower Temple is. Icana Valley was home to these group of ninjas called the Guru, who served the royal family there. The Guru are like these ninjas, and when you wear one of these masks, these ninjas will pop out, and they'll think that you're one of their own, and then you fight them, and they'll give you some vital information.
Okay, when you wear their mask, yeah.
Yeah, you don't turn into them. It's just like an item you wear, and they'll give you some vital information, but then they'll take their own life. They
Hmm.
say that they'll blow themselves up, sort of thing.
Okay,
And then but
yeah.
this land Icana is like the land of the dead, sort of thing. It's like everything's all like decapitated and it's all dead land and everything like that. It's really quite creepy. It's home of the unsettled spirits. And when you go to the top of the mountain of Icana Valley, there's like this giant house with like a giant jukebox on it. And it was actually home of a researcher there who I found out later in the grave before you go to Icana Valley, there is like a graveyard you can go to, and you fight one of these big giant what are they called? Skull. What are they called? He's General. Oh, what's his name? He's a Stole Child, but he's massive. He's a general.
Okay.
He's one of those giant Stole Children, but he was like a general in his past life.
Okay.
When you waken him, he says, if you can catch up me and beat me in a fight, I'll give you my mask. I'll give you you'll be able to control. And when you put the mask on, you'll be able to control the Stole Children.
Okay.
The Stolfo soldiers that he said even in death still are loyal to me. That need to be unrest.
hmm Oh,
Yeah.
need to be fixed. Yeah. I've noticed.
Oh,
Uh,
the Captain Kita.
okay.
There he is. Yeah.
Okay. That's an interesting look. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, I haven't seen things like that, but I have seen unrest remains where you see like skeletons wandering around and stuff like that. I've run into that myself, like unsettled remains that other beings can use as like to turn them into servants and everything. I've run into that where they have these weird deformed looks and everything. The same thing with those other beings. Garo, I've seen beings like that where it's beings that are in capes. Some mimicker demons look like that, but there are also other ones I've seen floating around that are embodiments of like death and everything that look almost like things like ghouls and in capes and everything. So
Yeah,
yeah, I've seen that too.
yeah. So that's him there. He's yeah. You just he's not too difficult really. If you long as you when you got the gilded sword and the bunny hood, which allows you to run faster, he's practically a joke, you know. But yeah, he gives you his mask, the captain's mask, which allows you to command the Stole Children to open up the graveyards, and this will give you, and then you'll be able to go into this tomb, and inside this tomb you'll come across something called the Iron Knuckles, and this Iron Knuckle is like guarding this old song remedy called Song of Storms, which was in Ocarina of Time as well, but this one it has more of a coherent narrative to it than it just being used for a puzzle solving thing. The Song
Okay.
of Storms, this one. Iron Knuckles. So hang on. Iron, Iron Knuckle. Here we go. Yeah, you fight one of these things. They came. Actually, it's the same model from Ocarina of Time, pretty much. But they're like these beings that are in stuck. It's like a person stuck inside the corrupted suit of armor.
Mhm.
And the more time you fight it starts tearing away. But
Oh
they
yeah,
hit.
I think it's going to be being stuck inside of suits of armor. You can even bring like a skeleton, like you can bring to life with magic. So you can also do that with a suit of armor as well, and imbue it like with a certain magic and certain qualities. The same as a mask, the same as a skeleton, and it could be like a poltergeist energy that you draw together and then use it to defend or attack. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And when you defeated the one of the Composer brothers, that's Poe. It'd been the first thing we did in the first one episode we did. We talked about the Composer brothers and the royal family, how they would keep things hidden from certain people.
Hmm.
And in this, they're back in this game again, but they've got different roles. One of them, the one that composed the song, there's one of them's become evil, and unfortunately, he became corrupted by the Skull Kid. And this brother, what's his name? He referenced like Skull Kid is like the devil. You know, he sold his soul to Devil's Wolf and he became corrupted.
Hmm.
And you have to use like the Song of Storms to heal his brother. Which we later find out when you go into this cave. We find out this particular ghost has turned the researcher there
Hmm.
into a Stelphos mummy. He's turned him into like a dead being.
Hmm.
This particular ghost. And when you play the Song of Storms to the corrupted brother, he always sort of, you know, the water will start flowing through a kind of valley again, and the jukebox will start playing, and the Gibdo's there, the dead that's walking around, will start sinking back into the ground.
Hmm.
The song's called, I think, Gibdo's Go Away. Hold on, let me put my
Okay.
oh,
Yeah, they're saying that certain tones are also making the corruption retract. Yeah, yeah.
because before you go there, there's no water or anything flowing through.
Oh, and then the water comes back
Yeah,
again.
when you play the Song of Storms, and the spell lifts off, you know, the brother isn't corrupt anymore. Because before that, he tries killing Link, converting Link into the ranks of the dead. Yeah, so that's what happened to her father. But when you play the Song of Healing to her father, he turns back to normal. But then a Gibdo mask falls off him. Again, that they said the is transmuted into a mask.
Okay. Yeah.
And when you put on the mask, you can talk to Gibdos, the
Okay.
Redeads, or whatever. Like essentially like Redeads, like mummified Redeads. Yeah, you get the Gibdo. That's what her father's been turned into.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a ghoul or a mummy. Yeah.
Mummified, yeah. But when you play the Song of Healing, it turns him back to normal, and he sort of reunites with his daughter again. You can slash him as well, but you have to restart the cycle again.
Oh,
but
yeah. Yeah. You can attack him, but you have to heal him. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
So that's,
this is characterized as a bound being. Like I've seen what bound beings are is like something of that nature, whereas they will attack you because they are needing help to go back to the form that they are supposed to be in, and they know that you can actually help them. So some people have mistaken them also for demonic entities and such, which essentially, yes, they are. But a bound being, once you find a way to reverse it and you turn them back into what they are supposed to be, then they're okay from that point on. So some people mistake that for a demonic entity, but also there are ghosts and such that are bound to demonic entities, where they have to be separated from them, and then the ghost is sent on to the afterlife, and then you get rid of the demon that's fused with them. So those are
Yeah,
two different concepts of like different bound beings. Like a regular bound being would just be like with an incantation or spell bound around them, and another one is one where a demon is actually fused to them. So I've run into that concept.
yeah. So once you free him, you can either well, then you got the Gibdo mod. He'll talk about if you don't rewind, you don't undo it. He'll talk about like the hidden treasure in the well. There's like a big giant well at the bottom there, and there's a lot of padding in this as well. So there's another section of the game I did not like,
Mhm.
because you got because when you're talking to the Gibdos, when you're at the mask, when you can talk to the Gibdos. Well, essentially that's what the Gibdos are, like the Redeads about the bandages on or something like that.
Yeah, essentially it's a ghoul. Yeah.
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 And in this, and then when you've got the Gibdo mask on, you can talk to these ghouls, and these ghouls will request a certain item they want, and then the door can open. And you have to do tons of padding in this. And you've got to have specific items. You've got to collect certain fish. What certain they want. They sometimes they want even like giant poes. There'll be certain rooms you have to go into to collect them. And it's not really one of my favorite parts of the game. It's just a very tedious, lot of padding, and I thought. But once you get to the actual, once you get to the proper treasure, the treasure they're talking about is like a mirror shield.
Mhm.
This one, hold on, mirror shield. And this one's got like a really creepy face in it. Almost there's a being stuck in this one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 You can trap beings in a apparatus like that, where they can look back at you. You can trap beings inside of a mirror, so they can with like a shield around it like that, where you can they can actually talk back to you and everything. I've run into that situation where there's also beings trapped in like a mirror cauldron or some kind of like watery cauldron too inside of a crystal. I've run into that as well. So that's a real concept.
Yeah, and also Link's shield in this one. He's highly in shield. It was in this one. It's just called the hero shield. It has a different structure to it as well. Yeah, it doesn't have the same. It's got the inverted like triangle, and
Hmm.
it's almost got like it has like a sort of memorial feel to it in some aspects.
Yeah, in one of the previous shows we did where Isaac compared it to some of the Nazi standard and everything with the SS and all that with the Orion with the different like Orion concepts, separation of power from self and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but this one has like more of a memorial look to it though. And this one makes me think Link. It goes back to Link's death.
So the
This
newer
looks
one.
like yeah. This one here, the one in the center, is the one he uses.
Hmm.
It looks like yeah, this reminds me like more of a raven or a crow, like sense of death. Again, like a more of an owl type look to it.
More of a what?
An owl.
Yeah,
Sorry.
an owl. Yeah.
It has more like a memorial feel to it.
Yeah, yeah, that one is different than the other ones. One of the other ones had more of a Nazi connotation. This one has like, yeah, more of like a memorial type of connotation. Even though the S and the S are still there, and the Triforce is still on there, you can clearly see it says the Triforce has more of a has a smaller standing versus like the entirety of the wings that are above it. So
Yeah,
it seems like it has a better vibe to it too, but it still has some of the Nazi standard connotation to it too. But it's different.
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you get to the when you get the mirror shield, you can then reflect the light off these specific blocks that deteriorate when you put light on them.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get the mirror shield, you can enter the fortress by Ivicana Valley. And this fortress is like the home of it had it's home of the general there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or palace, whatever, depending on where you're from. But this giant palace or castle, whatever, was home of like the what's his name? Oh, geez, I can't remember his name. The captain that was there, was he the general? Sorry, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. But yeah, essentially it's like all in ruin, and he'll talk. And when you when you get to the boss stage, you fight like these Stelphos people. You'll fight two of these Stelphos soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think he's the is he the emperor of this kingdom, like the royal family?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I can't remember. I've played this game for quite a while. I know.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't a fan of that
I
one.
think he's a king, the king of Icana.
Yeah.
Got his name, but yeah, this is once home to a giant military army, and for whatever reason, they turned on themselves, became corrupt, and their souls are undying. And you have to fight them by first. You have to when you fight them, you stun them, but you have to shine a light on them.
Oh yeah, yeah. That actually makes sense. I've had to do that with different beings, shining light on them at first to stun them, and then you can get rid of them. I've had to do that to purge different entities. Like it's like using pure benevolent source light. You can stun different enemies like that. And also the fact they have them guarding the different tombs and that different castle or that particular castle. I've heard of that before, where some beings are enlisted as a guardian in different tombs, different burial mounds, different areas. Like I ran into some Native American ones one time that were guarding different burial mounds. And they didn't have any name. They just had the rank of guardian. That's all they had. And I've run into that before. Even though there were other versions of them that were like curses that would wander neighborhoods too, where they were the embodiment of like an intention. Where I found out some natives had cursed the descendants or family line of people that had wronged them when they were removed from their land. So they decided to curse any of the descendants that came after that generation. But
Yeah, that also falls into the guru ninjas I was talking about earlier.
mhm, mhm,
They're a society that is cursed there.
mhm.
They have like a linear curse. They can't rest. Souls are not at rest.
Yeah,
Sort of thing.
I've run into that very concept. Yeah, the souls aren't at rest, and sometimes the curses will take on these weird, decrepit forms. Or they'll look like how they did. They just don't have a name. There's no name associated with them. Or they'll look like the Garo were in this as well. So that's very interesting that they
Yeah,
associate that correctly in this game series too.
and when you defeat the three of them, they manifest again, but they're not in their full corporeal forms. They're like sort of ghost head sort of thing. And the king will teach you this song called oh, what is the song? I can't. Sorry, Pete, I can't remember the name of the song. But it allows you to create a replica of yourself, a
Hmm.
statue of yourself. And
Hmm.
again, these will have this sort of strange. Hang on, I've completely forgotten it, but it allows you to create like a silhouette of yourself in each persona. And you'll need to do this throughout the Stone Tower Temple in order to access it, because there'll be certain switches you need to create a statue to keep the door, keep certain switches activated.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll create like a sort of replica of a shadow of yourself. But the king will even say to yourself that they were once, I think they said they were once betrayed, or I can't remember now. They were once it was some sort of pay squabble they had, and they were in forever limbo fighting. And there's something interesting when you go to Stone Tower, because like you just basically it's this tower that is supposed you basically just go it's going up a giant tower, and it's huge. And when you get to the front of the temple, you come across these blocks. But what was interesting about these giant blocks when you activate them, they have the Triforce on them. Stone Tower Temple, well, here's one of the blocks, but they have when you've get the light arrow, you can hit a switch which allows you to invert
Hmm.
the temple upside down. But you can hit these like red switches that can turn the arrow, turn
Oh
the
yeah, where it turns.
yeah,
Yeah.
switches. And on one of the blocks, the platforms, it has like a Triforce there. Whether or not this is like the inverted world of that Triforce or something
Yeah,
happened.
the
It's simple.
inverted meaning of the Triforce. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And in this temple, you fight one of the lead the guru ninjas. The one I showed earlier that had the gold, that had like the gold mask.
Yeah, that inverted meaning where of switch flipping the temple over, like basically symbolizing everything being inverted, taking your power away, essentially. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because they believed in one of the theories that the gods of Hylia betrayed them. That's why they were cursed into this world. I don't know. It's just a theory that some people came up with. Yeah, it's like one of the ninja masters you fight. Where is he? So, let's say, where is it? Where's the picture? Yeah, it's like a gold color. This is essentially like one of the ninja warriors. One of the masters you fight.
Well, that's
He
interesting
also,
to have them as like a golden bird.
yeah,
And this is very interesting with this particular image with the triangular head. This one may piss some people off saying this one because I recognize the reference right here. There is I'm not going to mention any of the insiders' names, but there is a particular alien that popped up in some disclosures that is a gold triangular head that is also is associated with the Ra group and associated with like the Blue Avians, quote unquote, and also associated with Dark Orions and with AI tech when the artificial intelligence had basically captured the Ra group, the bird people, and used them as more of a puppet race. This particular thing, and this is a form of binding again. This particular look is nearly the head is nearly exact to what some of the golden avians look like. They have like basically a mask over that symbolizing they had been captured and are being used as a puppet of some kind or bound in some fashion. And this would be what some insiders referenced as the golden triangle head. And this goes back to also the look of the Triforce as well. I know they were kind of going with this, but this goes back to the beings referenced as golden triangle heads. And this some people think they're bugs, but it's actually a bird, kind of like the bird master, like the plague doctor. This goes
yeah.
also associated back with the Black Death, where the Orions created the Black Plague with spraying the crops with nanotech and stuff like that, and poisons back in the day before the Black Death started. And there were also avian species that were existing within the bird doctor suits and different tall beings like Orion beings and such that were in some of these suits. Now, other humans mimic this, but there were avian beings that were around whenever there was going to be a disaster of some kind. Some people saw that as a warning, others saw it as a harbinger of doom. And also, this is where you get some of the stories of the Grim Reaper from too, from the Orion
Uh,
skeleton ones with the hook and everything.
yeah, yeah, and just there is a boss you do fight that's like a Grim Reaper in this. Hold on.
Yeah, this is all associated like that, like with the Black Death. Yeah, some people think the golden triangle head thing is positive. No, it isn't. It's evil. Uh,
Grim Reaper type. Yeah, this creature here is like covered in bats.
okay.
And you need a light arrow to destroy him.
Yeah, he's a little dark, but yeah, I can see him. Yeah.
Hang on, here's a better one.
Okay.
Oh no, here we go. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's very much like this. It's interesting they associate with the Grim Reaper because of like that other golden reference. What they're trying to say is all of it's this kind of the same. All of it is like demonic in some fashion or bound in some fashion. That's what they were trying to say with that. I found that interesting. Yeah.
yeah, he's got a triangle in his center too.
Yeah, yeah, that's very interesting. Also, there are beings with triangular shaped heads too, and also elongated heads. With a pointy head. I've run into that too. Not all of them are bad, but those references with the golden triangle head that is negative. And so yeah, so it's associated with Grim Reaper and soul harvesting. That's where you go back to the law of one material, where they say they're going to conduct the soul harvest. That's what they're referencing here. Uh,
Yeah, so it's interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, what is it? The boss you fight. This is called. No, actually, no. One of the enemies you fight, it's like a Cyclops type being.
Mhm.
I think they have referenced it in other games as well. I think. It's just a rendition of that game, of that villain from that game. Here it is. Igor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's then you. I think this is one of the creatures that you fight to get access to the Giant's Mask
Hmm.
later on. There's a better picture of it. There it is. It's like more like it's like an AI being, whether
Yeah,
it's like
that's more like an AI reference right there. Yeah, like I said, well, it goes back to those floating eyeballs and everything. But there are robots that have that appearance as well. Yeah.
Giant's Mask, right? Giant's Mask. Then you get this mask called the Giant's Mask, which usually I think you used to get it when you defeated him in the original, but in the 3DS version you get it after you defeated one of the snakes.
Hmm.
Here it is, the twin molds, and this mask allows you to grow exchange, but it's only used for like one room. It's extremely situational. So it's you can use it like the boss room of a stone tower. But
Hmm.
before you enter Stone Tower, you fall down like this hole, and you go into like this sort of dimension here. It's
Hmm.
like desert dimension, and you fight these two snakes, sort of worms, whatever.
Okay.
Beetlejuice to put it down, sandworms.
Yeah, that's an interesting mask. I've seen even references that look like that mask, and I've got other reptilian species that have kind of like that. That fits more like a gray type, but or even type or bug, like insectoid type.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So after you defeat the only thing I didn't like about the boss fight in the remake is that it's got its own fight mechanics to it.
mhm.
Once you defeat the first snake with the light arrows, then you get the giant's mask. But then it's like in the original, you just basically Link would just grow larger and function as normal. But in this one, though, he's got his own move sets and everything. Like he can pole drive the snake. He can throw things and throw rocks at it and everything like that. You can squeeze its eyeball out literally. And but it's a real pain. It was a real pain in the arse. I just didn't. I thought it was didn't need to exist. That's new mechanic they introduced to it, but whatever. So when you've beaten the boss and you freed all the four giants, and yeah, I was going to talk about the four giants.
Okay.
Four giants. Giants, yeah. These creatures.
All right. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, the after you've cleared each temple, you'll free one of these. The
Hmm.
first one will teach you the song called Oath and Order. This allows you to call them on the final day of the clock tower. If you freed all of them, they'll appear at the clock tower. But if you haven't, if you, they'll appear. They're not. Blah, I can't talk. So it's trying to take this out of my head. Um, basically, if you've the number will appear. You can still summon them on if you even if you haven't rescued all of them, you can still summon them on the final day.
Hmm.
But you do need all four of them to stop the moon falling.
Oh yeah, to hold it up. Yeah, yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I've seen dimensional beings look like kind of like that before when they're crossing into our physics, or if our perceptions are seeing them weird or something like that. Where I've even seen creatures that like have no torso like that, where they're just arms, legs, and a face like that, where something's dimensionally crossing from one area to our area, and they come across looking weird like that, where it's like our physics or their physics and then our physics, and they come across looking odd like that. So yeah, that is possible to have that look. Where, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
when you have one of the all night masks, you can hear like one of the stories of the town. And the woman who tells you the story, she'll tell you about the giants once coincided with people and they were good friends. And they would share heart and they'd harvest with them. And people would wear masks in celebration of the giants. But something happened and they all parted ways. The giants were no longer one of them. And they referenced this is why I thought it was a bit. This is why I believe the world is like a manifestation of Skull Kid's subconsciousness because they referenced him in like legends in folklore, like Skull Kids in folklore.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's a bit strange, really. They talk about how he's friends with them, he's friends with the giants, and they parted ways or something like that, and they became. They referenced him anyway, but they also said about the people wear the mask because in this town, Termina, there's you see masks everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a celebration of them, the giants, when they used to live with the people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, I can see that, people celebrating the different, well, that's how sometimes they celebrate the different deities, different cultures do that all over the world. Like they're like the Dogon do the fish people, and also the natives also with their feathering and everything. They're celebrating different, not only different bird people that have come in, and also the different bird cults that are around the world, but they're referencing different alien races and everything. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so getting back to when you freed all the giants, you can go back to the stone tower. No, sorry, the clock tower. But then you call giants. They stop the moon. They stop the moon. It looks like they're more telepathically holding it up than actually physically holding it.
Mhm.
That's what it always looked like to me. I don't know if that's just due to the graphical limitations, but
Yeah,
they're more physical, like using telekinesis to lift it up. And it's like the entire when they stop it, it's like time itself stops.
yeah, yeah.
It's really strange. I don't know if that's just I don't know if that's just a graphical thing or is intentional. I don't know, but then after when they stop the Mars, they stop the moon falling, the Mars becomes a sentient, and it becomes it starts talking and then ditches Skull Kid and it goes up into the moon and the moon continues to fall down. And then Link has to go into the moon
Hmm.
because pursue the mask. And then like I say, if you've got all the masks, this is where you can get the Fierce Deity mask. Now in this moon, this is where the game gets fucking weird. In the moon, hang on, let me just show you. The moon is like this giant. It's like this giant meadow in the moon. There's like this one tree. You've got these little kids wearing like the masks of the bosses,
Hmm.
and they're all like renditions of the Happy Mask Salesman. Got
Hmm.
like little versions of him,
Oh, kind of like almost like an afterlife form.
sort of in the moon. There's like renditions of him. But they're all wearing the boss masks. This is what it looks like inside the moon.
Huh.
It's really fucking weird. Yeah, it's where the game gets strange.
Yeah, this part I didn't remember. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
this is kind of like a false afterlife or like a soul trap or something like that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Where is it? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's really weird. Where's that? You got like all the different. You got like little happy mask
The
salesmen.
fact that it has a face that's looking at everybody, that's pretty creepy itself. But
Yeah, it's like the sense. Like it's always a sense of dread looking at you. You can't. It doesn't go away. The threat's not always there.
that's referencing the moon. It's like our moon. It's like it's always looking at you, always watching. So it's pretty creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you and each one of these kids, sorry, each one of these kids you speak to, they'll ask for a mask. Ask for two masks, and you go through pretty much the same these trials that you've gone through in the of each different themes to them. They'll be the same themes that you had in like the swamp theme, the forest, snow theme, the snow theme, the water theme, and the stone tower theme, whatever. And if you need all the masks in order to get they won't take the transformation masks though. You can keep those,
Hmm.
but the only all the other subsequential masks you get, they'll want them, and in exchange you'll get the Fierce Deity mask. Now the Fierce Deity Link is pretty much Link himself, but in a different form.
Hmm.
That's him there. Pretty much like he's pretty much adult Link, but just with different aesthetic
Yeah.
color.
With a different story, different. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And what basically his he functions the same as Link does with the Goron, like the giant Goron sword in Ocarina of Time, but except he can shoot projectiles when he's throwing his sword.
Hmm.
And and yeah, the mask is broken as shit. Seriously, you could just take the Majora's mask down in seconds. It's a fucking joke. It really is.
Oh, yeah. Where it's easy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then the final form of Majora, you might have seen it earlier. Majora, this mask form. That's the final. Where's the final form? Here it is. It's almost it reminds me of a female form actually, Majora.
No, yeah, yeah, okay.
It's got a sort of female form to it because it goes from three stages. It'll be like this mask. The other three stages. That's the first stage of fight. It's like a more just essentially a mask tentacles coming at it. Then it'll morph into like this sort of weird looking like imp thing. That's absolutely nuts. It's well, I thought the final form was a bit lame actually. I thought this form was more interesting because it was just absolutely insane. It was manic.
Hmm.
It's like a sort of demented chicken in some way. It was,
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah. This is the three. This goes back to the three again, where it's kind of like the bastardization of the three forms of that darkness. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So after that, the moon it combusts into a blur into a rainbow, and the giants sort of the Skull Kids. Well, Skull Kids doing sort of redeemed,
Hmm.
and he sees the giants. They sort of they walk back off to their own to the elements again. The forest swarms they present back, and he just Skull Kid feels extremely bad for what he's done. He's caused so much shit for this world,
Hmm.
and I'm surprised a lot of people have forgiven him what he's done. But yeah, after that, you get the Happy Mask salesman finds the mask and he says the evil from the mask is gone. So the mask has been transmuted, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Then he just descends off to wherever he's going, and Link can teleport ways, and that's the game.
yeah, and yeah, you give the mask to the guy who's asking for it. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Yeah,
And
no,
everyone's happy, and they have the carnival.
wow.
Yeah, and also there is in the when you're doing the quests in the town, there's like this huge debate whether or not they're going to have the carnival or should they leave because of seeing the impending sort of doom of the moon. There's like everyone's always like, yeah, there's this huge debate in the on the political side of it. The guards want people to evacuate and leave,
Hmm.
but the people that conducted the carnival still want people to stay there, enjoy what they can.
Yeah,
We'll die anyway, so who cares?
yeah,
So
exactly.
it's kind of this really dark context
Yeah,
going on.
this dark context, like when people stay in a disaster zone, sort of.
Yeah,
Yeah, uh, yeah, it has that dark connotation to it. What was very interesting was what I was being fought against, while we were doing this was building up to when we were talking about those that golden triangle head, and
mm-hmm.
also the fact you have a kitty around here now. There was a cat walking around outside the window out here, a big one,
Yeah, yeah,
and neighborhood cat that walks around all the time. And it looks like, yeah, the cats will show up to protect like that. So there was one walking around out here, and also leading up to the thing on the moon
yeah,
that like with that weird idyllic world that was there. That's kind of like a Soul Trap reference, or keeping all the consciousness, like you said, had to hand over a lot of the masks to that, and that's more like a collection of. That goes back to it's a loose reference to like a Soul Harvest, so it goes back to the Golden Head guy again.
yeah,
And yeah, so that's what I was being fought over was that. That's what was causing some of the interference with this was that, the weird reference, and didn't want us to put all those things together. See, so Moon with Mask with
yeah,
Soul Trap with Law of One material with Black Death. All the, didn't want us putting it
yeah.
together. I know it's a weird obscured um,
Yeah.
reference there, but it's like, yeah, see, your cat's doing the thing.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
But yeah, yeah, that's funny because what he's doing is trying
Stick
to
his butt,
protect you. Is what
stick his butt in my face. What he's doing?
he's doing.
What's the matter? What do you want?
But yeah, he's trying to protect you, is what he's doing.
Oh,
But but yeah, there was this big like brown like tabby cat that was walking around outside the window here, pacing back and forth for a little bit, and
yeah,
that, and they tend to have a deep connection to spirit, deep connection to being able to see what's around and protect people from it. So
Yeah.
that's what that cat was doing here, protecting. And your cat there is like, even though he's putting his butt in your face, is still doing that. Yeah, it's like,
Hold on, let's go let him out. Hold on.
okay,
Sorry.
all
Let's go
right.
let him out. Come on. Well, come on. Come on. Come on. Wait around. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh. Oh.
All righty.
I don't know what he's doing. Oof.
Well, he's trying to hang around you because of some of the energies. They got kind of
Yeah.
fouled with what's going on here. And yeah, they're in the beginning. I'll tell the people here. In the beginning, there was a I thought were the forest people that were around, and I believe they were attempting to make contact prior to us starting the recording today, but that which they were. But in this instance, there's not anybody here except Isaac at the moment. But what was going on was the cats on both ends were helping protect against different attacks from the different beings trying to interrupt this show.
Yeah, this one's been actually quite smooth, to be honest. Hasn't been too much interference still.
Well, on your end, probably on my end, I was seeing a little bit. I was feeling a little bit on my end, but it wasn't like severe, but
Yeah,
it was
because
like,
the first one we did, I mean, Jesus Christ, the influence was horrible.
yeah, I know that one was worse. That was because of the Atlantis reference. But with this, I'll see who benevolent wants to come through to do the last portion of this. We've been going for 2 hours and 17 minutes from my count here, but let's see. Let's see. Is there anybody that wishes to come through? Um, is it going to be Isaac or is it going to be someone else? Benevolent, please. If True Benevolence wishes to make a reference here, that would be fantastic. What? Okay, this is just plain weird. What's going on right now? Outside here, I'm seeing like a weird little being that is trying to pace back and forth. Ugh. No, we're not having this. Okay, there's like this. If I could describe this, looks like a little like person with a bunch of hair and like a whip in his hand. So it's like I don't know what the hell this is. So it's like some kind of weird like light like whip. I don't know what the hell this is, but it's like he's gone, whatever it is. I don't know if it's safe to do the channeling. I'll check it out one more time. Isaac, is it fine to do
We
channeling
can
from?
we can always leave it if you want.
Let's see. I want to get at least some galactic reference in there.
About Tucson, is he around?
Tuzin. Isaac is Tuzin around. No, but you're around. Okay. All right. Let's see. Can we get rid of this little creep that's out here, please? Okay. Let's see. That was strange. That looked more like a puckwudgie on acid because it was like a puckwudgie is a type of mischievous, like gnome type being that causes like death,
Yeah.
like animals and with nature. It does like a lot of land corrupting and stuff like that. What happened here several days ago is there was an animal that died in the wall of the house here, and
Yeah.
then it started attracting different things. There was a puckwudgie, I think, that caused it, or a variation of a puckwudgie, and then was basically it caused the death energy started to cause some disruption. I had to put amber and frankincense and myrrh and sprays and stuff down to purge it. But there's still a smell or an odor, but from it, like there was an animal that got stuck, portaled into the wall, cried for a little bit, scratched, and then died. And then it caused this really bad ether in this part of the office over here. But what happened?
No. I'm sorry. No.
No, no, you're fine. He's fine. He's just trying to protect. That's all he's doing.
All
Uh,
right.
See, I'll tell everybody. This is what happens with when your cat is like stepping in front of your computer monitor.
Yeah,
What
he's going. He's
block.
going. Absolutely, he's going absolutely bananas.
Yeah, he's trying to protect is what he's doing. So it might
Okay.
not be a safe environment to do it channeling at this point. But Isaac, why don't you answer from a distance? As I know you're talking. What what is so drastic that the cats feel they have to protect here, or nature feels it has to protect? What was it in reference to that they did not want on record? The bad guys. Um, Okay, the references to the Law of One material and the triangle head being one of the bigger ones, and the corrupted areas of nature. Okay, um, that's another one. And what specifically, like, say, with the skull kid or the mask concept? I know there's something there they didn't want out. Consciousness and sentient consciousness. Of course, we've said that they. Okay, are you able to talk, Isaac? Okay, we'll just do it that way. All right. All right. Instead of going back and forth like that, that's a little annoying. But okay, let's see. We'll just do it directly. All right. Benevolent Isaac only, please. True benevolence, please. Okay. And through the crystal, of course. Okay. We'll find out why that was so interfered with and what the main deal is here. So. Uh, Because I am feeling it. That's really weird. Okay. Um, yeah. What? Yeah. What was it? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Isaac, you can just explain it briefly. Oh, yeah. Because is it Schumann related, or is it just outright attack related in a subtler way? Oh, that. Okay. All right. Okay. Through the crystal. Yes. Today, this is a fairly frustrating incident because of the fact not only did the death energy compound and draw in what you would call a pukwudgie in this instance. I have nicknamed them puke midgets, but I digress. In this, because they are elements of darker energies, very much like how some of those masks can conjure different beings and house them within. Pukwudgies are essentially some of the mischievous servants of different, you would call them dark lords or Orion lords in some instances. And in the instances where they think for themselves, they just cause mayhem and destruction and death in some places where they like to either play practical jokes or stick dead animals in your walls and such. But I digress on that point. What was interfered with today was the references to the ghouls, the goblins, and the Law of One material with the golden pointy head or triangular head. That is a reference that you are seeing that is more of a satanic reference. And this was something that has been touted as good and angelic when it is actually not. In this, I will just go into some questions.
Yeah, the whole theory of Link being dead. But was this Nintendo's was this what Nintendo was trying to implement, or
Yes, they were trying to show him as more of a spirit folk, or like a you would say like an elf, of course, wood elf type. But in this instance, the theory of Link being dead, they were putting that out there. This is also something that was being interfered with as well, even as subtle as it is. The theory with him being dead and in spirit. This would also lend people to believe that in death you gain more power, which in fact, just because the Star Wars reference did it, doesn't always make it true. Now, when you pass on, yes, do you pass on past the 3D construct into the spirit world and go back to your original soul family? Of course you do. But there are instances where people are made to be convinced, let's just say, that when you gain death, you are gaining ultimate power. And that is only true if you are in, let's just say, more of a transcendent mindset, let's just put it that way, and seeing past all of the soul traps and all of the soul harvesting references. But with this particular incident, they wanted people to gravitate toward being dead is true power. That is not. That is the complete opposite of this. It was a more sinister connotation. But in death, do you become your original self and go back to your original soul family and gain more power that way? Of course. So there is a double-edged sword here. But with this particular rumor that was being passed around, they wanted people to fall into, especially children, to fall into that the dead inside routine is more of a consent to having dark influences around you. This is one of the things they did not want seen in this. So it is interesting you asked that question.
Will the next game in the series be more like this one, Majora's Mask, in terms of its dark tones and emphasizing death more?
Yes, you will see other dark overtones such as this, showing a concept that people thought were light and thought were good in your society, that will be integrated into the story to show that there are indeed traps and pitfalls and dark references buried deep within something people thought was light and pure. This is actually a very good thing that is being done, a reference that is being done in this respect, so that it educates people more on what is going on.
Because the new one, it shows Ganon returning back from.
Yes, you can say this. Yes, yes. The reason they have the repetitious bad guys showing up all of the time in a lot of these different games is the fact that it is showing that the more people believe in that particular bad guy or believe in a particular villain, they are giving it power. They are co-creating a villain into existence. So they are showing that people, by believing in the hero and villain mentality and the dualism, they are conjuring that eternal cycle into existence. The idea is to change that perspective, you see, into a new paradigm. But the reason they are repeating this is showing people that they're repeating the same bad guy, even in their own minds and hearts, over and over again. Now, is there a fun gameplay aspect to this? Oh, of course. And could you have a good game without a good guy and a bad guy? Not necessarily. But that is the reference that is being made.
So it's going to be a lot darker than Breath of the Wild, the first one.
Yes, because of the fact they want people to see that darker mirror also more in their face, so that they can say correct issues in their own lives, which was also made reference on another Interstellar Council as well. But this is why they made that mirror darker and more meaner, because of the fact of that as people begin to change their perspectives, the particular persona appears to have a meaner reflection back. The further along in your evolution that you go, what you need to purge has more of a veracity to it, has more fangs, and has more of a bite to it. So this is more of that kind of dark reflection.
That's kind of it for questions, really. I can't think of anything else.
All right. The fact that this was interfered with, even though it was more of a subtle way, your cats here on either end were helping protect, and there were a plethora of elementals. Were the forest people present? Yes, they were in the very, very beginning. This was more of an assistance from them as well with the various cats that were helping to assist in that respect. They could not stay and talk, but they were warning of the eyes that were basically upon you in that particular respect. So they are still watching in that respect. This is why they passed an audit, because it was essentially them, but from a distance. This is why they could not necessarily be heard as readily when you attempted to speak to them, but it was them watching over this particular situation. I hate to actually make references and run, let's just say, or speak and run, but I must back out now because certain energies are causing more interference speaking this way. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hmm. All right. Yeah, he was in quite a hurry. So it's normally he's not like that. If he does that, then there's something wrong. But it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'd say, yeah. So that was an interesting episode.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's interesting about Breath of the Wild too, because it was all because immediately people were like, "Oh god, this got really dark. This got really foreboding." The trailer was like really dark and foreboding. 'Cause you see like the corpse of Ganon reanimating, looking.
yeah, where it's constantly reanimating because
Yeah,
people are bringing it back over. He was talking
that
about the co-creative process.
yeah, that's really fucking cool. I'm looking forward to that story. Yeah,
Yeah, that is
it's like
really cool.
that's like he's more like Ganon, like more the boogeyman, isn't he? He's like he just won't.
Yeah, the constant boogeyman that is reconjured and re-co-created. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I tell you what, I haven't seen many Dracos around recently.
yeah. This is interesting. I'll tell everybody this. Yeah, there hasn't been that many Dracos. They've had to enlist the help of other races because they've been thinned out. You can thank the forest people for a lot of that, and the Mozen for a lot of that. I'm surprised they didn't show up to try to make a reference too, but they must be busy repelling things. I know the forest people were taking a big risk trying to communicate as well, with even with an essence like that, and they did assist with the cats doing this,
Yeah,
Isaac, I think, had a role to play with your cat sticking its butt in your face like that, but or the forest people were doing that too, but
he's
they had a sense of humor as well.
yeah, he's not really our cat. He's just a cat that comes. He's owned by someone else, but he just comes in to say hello and sort of protects.
Yeah, and he just happened to be there. He showed up because of this. And there was a cat that was owned by somebody else here too. I saw it had a collar and a bell around its neck and had
Yeah.
some tags around its neck that was walking out here. So there were cats on both ends that were assisting with
So,
this.
getting back to the Moser, are they still playing the wars on Draconis? The
Hmm.
Salt. Are they still playing the Salt and Draconis? The Moser.
Yeah, they're. I don't know if they have done it yet, but I haven't spoken to the Mozen in a bit. I know they're busy doing things.
I
That
could try. I could try and call one in because I've got those pictures up there. They seem to really help bring forth. Hang
yes.
on. Oh yeah, that whole whistle chant I was going to show you about.
We yeah, we can bring in a Mos we can try to bring in a Mozen, and then we can end this episode too, because when we do this, when you show some of these references, yeah, we're at about 2.5 hours, so so uh, yeah.
I'll try. Yeah, I'll try and see if I can call them in. I'll try and meditate on them.
Okay.
Any true benevolent Mosin, could you please come from that picture?
Yeah, at least one reference from them as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
and oh, I'm gonna have to move my computer here soon because the battery's ready to croak. So yeah, are they? I'll have to the viewers. I am sorry, but I do have to move my computer. So
I'll try and see if.
battery's dying.
Hmm,
So I know it's darker over here, but yeah, I have to do that to plug it in. So there we go.
so. Hmm, some.
I am getting something, but it's distant though. It's like, okay, here we are. They're saying we are, helping to buffer certain communications. They're at where they're working at, like shielding something here. It's very distant. It's like with the forest people. It was very distant.
I can see them briefly. It's the soldier ones, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I can see them all. I'm seeing them all clearly now. There's a load of them behind me.
There we go. Yeah. Okay, there they are. What is it you want to reference about this? And maybe you concur with what Isaac was talking about. Okay. Was there a battle going on a little bit ago? Is that why there was also the cat protection in there? There was. Okay. Ooh. Okay. There you are. Yeah. There's several of them. There's male and female ones out there. I'm looking at. Okay. And what took place a moment ago that And why was that weird, creepy creature around trying to come towards the wall here of the house with that little whip in his hand? What was that all about? Oh, he was just there harvesting some of the energy that was in the wall, is what you were telling me? Okay. Did he have any reference to anything that was gone, or did he just happen to be there? Uh, it was part of the battle still that was going on. Okay. Okay. And some of the magics that you were having to battle, correct? Okay. And what does that have to do with the overall show, the references of the show? Is it to be, oh, I get it. Okay. Or the references of Majora's masks, the different masks that people are wearing, the different conjurings of the different masks, also the reference to time being altered, the reference to different, okay, what I said earlier, where if you take different bad guys off the game board, it alters the time dynamic later on. Got it. Okay. Right. That's the, okay. That I'm getting validation to that. Got it. Got it. Got it. That's what was going on. It essentially was something coming through time to interfere, and they quelled it back. It changed the whole dynamic. Got it. Okay. All right. That's
What about the war of you and the Draco? Is that still in plan? Are you still?
yes, it's still going on. I know they were trying to get to Draconis itself, but they were thinning them out here. This is why you don't see that many here. You don't see that many Draco
Yeah.
wandering around here.
He
Yeah.
said they've been thinned out massively.
Massively, yeah. I'm hard pressed to even find one doing anything like, you know, a couple months time. There's more. You know, there are other beings that have been working on their behalf, like rogue dogmen and stuff like that. But it's like other lizard type.
Yeah, but the Mosen have literally pretty much kicked their asses, haven't they?
Yeah, most definitely, because we've had some feral dogmen here that have been harassing, and that had been harassing. That's why I got the wolfsbane. And I've also noticed there's a concerted effort. I'll bring this up. There's a concerted effort to, like, on places like Etsy and eBay and stuff like that, to quell anybody selling any materials that could possibly repel any of these different entities, like Etsy, for instance. They've brought down people selling Wolfsbane, Nightshade, even different CBD products and different hemp products that could possibly calm these energies. Anything that seems to calm energies, they're starting to weed them out on their service. And you guys are saying that'll change here soon because that's part of the background war that's going on. The cancel culture in that area has affected, what you said. Okay, not just other social media, but within the sales of things.
Yeah. What about guys? What about my thyroid problem? Was that going to heal up? Will that get better?
Yes, of course. Is what I'm being told. Yes, of course. It was.
Yeah.
It was being this area seems to be focused on in this whole battle that's going on here. This area seems to be of great focus.
Yeah.
This is immune system related. So
Yeah, I remember watching that old. You can, I don't know if you want to edit this out. That old. 'Cause I don't really mention people's names on here.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I can bleep it. It's fine.
Well, we finished the recording, haven't we, on this?
No, we haven't ended the show yet. So.
Oh, okay. Well, when did you end the show? Do we do it now?
Yeah. I'll edit that part out we just said. But okay, everybody. I know this has been a bit of a choppy episode here, and I know my face is now darkened because I had to move the computer. But in this, the Mozen have had to help quell a few things, have had to buffer a few things, and so doing the little brief channeling that I did was about as much as I could do with that. But I thank everybody for watching this episode. Thank you for being patient with this one. But there was a lot of pertinent information there about different species, different story references, and obviously it was important enough to be interfered with. So thank you everybody for watching this. Bye bye now.
Bye.